Welcome. It feels like it's been a long time since we've been live. Had a lot of stuff going on. I am Dan, and as always, Carlito is here as my co-host, my Chewy to my Han. Uh, so there's been a lot going on. I had some surgery, and then a little hurricane came through. Weirdly had my return streaming first time back on our guest when he gets here's channel, the Comic Book G Spot, Robert. He had Carlito and I on, and I was on for almost 4 hours. Carlito did the after show.
I was on for like what, half of it or something.
You got on probably 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
So I want to thank everybody who sent in stuff after the storm, making sure I was okay. I appreciate that. I do want to comment on something that it really fucking rankled me real badly. So there are people losing their houses and their belongings, and there is this sect of collectors that their empathy is so non-existent. The only thing they could say is, boy, I hope CGC doesn't lose my books or fuck them up. Who gives a fuck about your books? It's so fucking insensitive. Like, think before you type shit. I'm literally trying to figure out if my friends are okay on the West Coast and then seeing this shit. I saw a video of someone's whole downstairs while they're upstairs just washing away. In Fort Myers, a fucking shark washed onto a street.
I saw that.
There were manatees. Like, unless you've been in it, I guess you can't. It's hard to know what people are going through, but like more and more, I feel like I'm becoming more and more separated from the community because just behavior like that just bothers me. And like it's now like the CGC flipper stuff that like now is bothering me more and more. That's an 8.5 kind of attitude. Oh. Again, I didn't know my friend Sid was okay until she posted something on Instagram the other day, and she was inland in Orlando.
Dude, that's crazy. My brother and sister and his wife, they were just down at Fort Myers, I don't know, recently, and yeah, so.
Also, like we were just on with Cantonese Comic Kid, who lives on the west coast of Florida. I don't know if anybody has seen or heard from him.
Yeah, I don't think I have seen or heard from Jeff on there.
Yeah, again, like, and he was on that side of it where Tampa didn't get hit as hard, but he was just above it, and I was 300 miles away from where it first landed, and I was still getting impacts. So, for my keyboard people out there, you know, maybe just take a second before you hit send on those hot takes and just kind of think about other people who might be seeing it, because believe me, I saw it. I took note of it. I know who you are. So maybe when some shit happens where you live, I'll be like, oh, man, I hope Costco doesn't lose my delivery or wherever the fuck you are. Like, CGC is basically in Florida, so. But that's my little soapbox bitching. Jen and I had kind of talked about it prior, like while it was going on. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "These motherfuckers." She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm good." Typical conversations Jen and I have.
Oh, yeah.
In between talking about the new Hellraiser trailer.
Ooh.
I'm very excited.
I saw Perry liked it, so that's a good
sign. That was a big sign for me. I believe it comes out next Friday. So I'm pretty excited for that. Drinking Balvenie Caribbean Cask. I'm still working on this bottle.
Dude, I need to try one of those.
Not expensive.
I don't. Shoot, I don't know if I've had Scotch on the show for a while. I'm doing another bourbon tonight, so.
Well, I keep trying to get the Eagle Rare, and I keep striking out. There's apparently a 20-person waiting list before my name now.
Good luck finding that anywhere. It's ridiculous.
I'll end up ordering from California again.
Yeah, those bougie kings and queens in California, that's all they got is all the liquor from the States over there, right, John?
Listen, John's got a
I could go get Eagle Rare right now. It's always on the shelf all night. Like, thanks, John. That's great, buddy.
But weirdly, the store by me has Hibiki.
Yeah, that's weird. I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, they've got it on the shelf.
There you go, John. That is for a king to kind of come down to our level. That's pretty nice right there. The king.
But I am ordering the Smoke Wagon box set.
Smoke Wagon's so good. So good. I gave my buddy at work, from childhood too, but a little sample bottle, and he tried it because I brought some back from Vegas, and he was like, "Oh my god, dude!" He's like, "My wife just went to Vegas. I'm trying to talk her into bringing a bottle back," and I'm like, "I hope you get one." And of course, she was like, "I'm not bringing a bottle back from Vegas."
I mean, I had to have a bottle sent from California from Liquor Brothers just because at a certain point I couldn't get it.
Yeah. I can't wait till someday it's in the Midwest. That'd be nice. They say they're expanding their distribution. So
I'm just going to move over to John's neighborhood. I'll be that
Mm-hmm.
white trash person in the neighborhood everybody complains about. Oh, wait, I don't leave my house. Never mind.
At least you'll bring some personality and color to that high pollutant area.
John's daughters will be like stopping by. Tell us a story. Oh, well. It'll become Dan's Comics with John's kids.
Yeah, I mean, Mrs. Comics with kids and the two daughters, obviously. They've got class and style.
Mrs. Comics with kids.
Yeah, you know?
Bums.
That's true. Cheers to that.
So I'm not exactly sure what happened to the G-Man. Like, he's been blown up.
A little early for him, isn't it?
Well, no, I sent him the link. He said I told him he was blowing up my phone while I was taking a nap, unless he's still watching the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's a possibility. And just a heads up to anybody that's here, I didn't get to finish it all the way through because I got home late from my parents, but I did watch most of it. And when we're done, I'll probably just finish it because it's pretty close. So.
So this is going to kick off our...
Well, that's good. That's what I was aiming for. I was hoping she was right there. So.
That'll be a great party for YouTubers. Oh, Mrs. Bearded, this is Mrs. Comics with kids.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, is that Queen G Spot?
The Queen.
So this year we're going to go through that. We're doing Halloween Horror Movie Month. It's going to be one show a week. Last year, COVID kind of destroyed that. I don't think we're going to get 5 weeks out of it, but this week we're going to get 5. And it's a good mixture of a little bit of everything. Totally, the second to last show is just me in a mirror jerking off in my own face because it's Halloween. So we're going to talk all the movies, even the ones I hate. And believe me, there's some ones I hate. But I have some Halloween 3 socks. I do. I really do. I have silver shamrock socks.
So you know that video where that guy's rolling on the skateboard and drinking coffee, and
I saw the one with the Halloween.
Oh, okay. So my sister-in-law, she loves Halloween. She lives for the fall and October. So I sent her that to watch, and she texts back How did they get a video of me? That's pretty funny. But this cat is just incorrigible, really, right now.
My cat's been just sitting, like meowing, but he's been freaked out since the hurricane, and he wasn't eating during it. So,
dude, I guess I'm known as the cat guy now because a couple of my friends sent me, that didn't know each other, sent me that link about that story about the old lady that lost her cat, and then they were interviewing her on the news, and then the cat like came during the live news broadcast, and it was just adorable. And then also the little girl from Ukraine, when they had to leave and they left the cat and stuff, and she was reunited with the cat. So that was a heartwarming story. I guess I'm cat daddy now, so everybody's just gonna send me whatever. So, speaking of which, Heather is here, which she's a good friend of mine. She's awesome. Yeah, so hopefully, I don't think she's seen Fallen. I know I've told her about it before, though. She needs to watch it. It's kind of a lesser known. I'm surprised they must not have marketed it very well at the time.
So it came out in a weird time because even what it went up against was stupid.
I'm sure.
So one, it came out. So for people who don't know, if a movie comes out in January, the studio has no faith in it.
That came out in January?
It came out in January of '98. So usually that means one, they didn't feel it was good enough for the holidays. Two, they didn't feel it was strong enough for summer, spring. It came out against Half Baked.
Oh, dear
Lord. Came out January 16th of 1998. Now, one of the interesting things about this, and give you an idea of what inflation is right now.
Oh, geez.
Opening weekend, it made $9 million. Guess what the inflation would be today on that $9 million?
Probably like about 23 million. 21, 23.
49.
49. Holy.
Yes.
Holy.
So I feel
John. I feel that too.
So there's a lot of movies like this that I feel like the people marketing it don't know what to do with it. Alita Battle Angel will be my go-to of how a marketing campaign. Fuck that movie. They really didn't know what they had or what they were doing, and it's a shame because James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez came together and made a beautiful movie. And again, it bombed, and it's just like, was it too close to that horrible Scarlett Johansson Ghost in the Shell?
I think so. I think that hurt a little bit.
See, I'm one of those people, I see James Cameron's name involved, and usually I'm like, you know what? I might not like it, but I know there's going to be something in the filmmaking.
Okay. Sorry, Heather. I couldn't remember if you had or not. It figures that you have because you have good taste. But
so Denzel is an actor. I feel people forget how good he is.
You know, watching this again, I was thinking, as far as my generation, I think he's the greatest black actor of my time.
So it was him and Morgan Freeman basically.
Yeah,
doing dueling movies.
I could see that for sure.
And absolutely. I have the feeling like he has the Meryl Streep, Leonardo DiCaprio syndrome, where he's so solid and good in every movie, you kind of stop appreciating it. Where it takes like a godly performance from him for you to go, oh man. So that's the crazy thing.
Godly performance, like Training Day.
See that. But Training Day, he played so out of character in it and so over the top that people kind of like stopped for a minute and they're like, man.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Yeah. I would almost say it's like Leonardo DiCaprio when he was in The Revenant, where he wasn't doing that yelling over the top thing.
Which I still have.
The Revenant is a beautifully shot movie. It's a little long, but Tom Hardy in it if you didn't know it was Tom Hardy, which Tom Hardy is one of those people who can just disappear into a character.
He's in it? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll definitely have to check it out now for sure.
And as we talk with Dunkirk, he's in that movie. If you didn't know the pilot in it was Tom Hardy, I just got used to the way he can act with just his eyes.
Unbelievable.
And that is a talent to be able to convey emotion with your eyes. And that's one of the brilliant things about him. And then I'd watched one of the Nolan things when he was casting Tom Hardy for Bane. And that was one of the things he talked to. He needed to be able to convey emotion through his eyes since he was wearing the mask. And that was what caught his patience, or caught his attention. You definitely have to be patient with this movie to unfold. The character actors in this movie, though, fucking incredible. Like Gandolfini, which I don't know if that was pre or just at the beginning of The Sopranos. I'm trying to think. 98 was.
I was just trying to verify that because I wanted to make sure I got my dates correct. Dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but when I was watching this time, the character he plays as Lou is straight up Tony Soprano, but as a cop and
with a bad mustache.
Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, like it was kind of just crazy how similar. And I almost think like maybe he's testing out to see like how people were, because technically, so this was what you said, January '98.
Yep.
So the pilot for Sopranos didn't release until January '99.
So he was filming this probably.
Well, this was filmed summer of '97, so okay. About a year. Well, he was probably filming. Yeah, you're right. He's probably filming, or they had just finished production on Fallen.
Because it feels like he was working on the Tony voice during this.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, because if you hear him talk normally, he throws that Jersey accent. And
yes, very much so.
Influence in there, so it's not how he normally talks.
And I will say that there are two character actors in this. That one, I forget how good Elias Koteas is, because I always think of him as Casey Jones from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. But he's been in some other movies. In particular, though, he was in that series, The Killing.
Yeah.
He was the lead detective's boss. And he does a very good performance. And in this, playing kind of crazy, which weirdly, it reminded me of a Wes Craven movie called Shocker.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Max I don't remember Cady, that much. I know I've seen it. But.
Max Cady is put to the electric chair and he becomes an electrical being. The funny thing is, when I tell you who Max Cady was played by, Mitch Pileggi from the X-Files, Skinner. And he's playing completely over the top. It was one of those Wes Craven was trying to get so far away from Freddy Krueger, he was trying to create his own Freddy Krueger again.
Yeah.
And
I feel like a lot of his later career was fighting against that, trying to create new stuff and
very much so.
Kind of come out of that fold a little bit.
But my next character actor that it bothers me because his comedy stuff overshadows everything else he's done. John Goodman.
John Goodman. Oh yeah.
Fuck, he's so good and I think. Oh, I never saw Exotica. Thin Red Line was good though. Thin Red Line was very good. John Goodman, I will say, if you haven't watched 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was a magnificent movie until the ending, his unhinged acting in that movie and the way he's able to flip a switch from being like this very caring guy to just batshit crazy is so good. And this was right after he did Red State with Kevin Smith.
Oh, shit, Azazel's behind me. Crap.
Huh? Oh.
Nothing. My cat.
The Red State by Kevin Smith is the most serious Kevin Smith movie ever made, and it's kind of a horror movie. And John Goodman's playing an ATF agent that's getting ready to raid this religious cults complex that are basically using the internet to trap kids that they consider sinners and killing. It's worth checking out. Like, again, like, you cannot like Kevin Smith, and you'd be surprised by how not Kevin Smith that movie is. And again, John Goodman is so good. So good.
So good.
But like, this to me was character actor heaven.
Oh yeah.
Because there was people left and right. We were like, oh, it's like Donald fucking Sutherland.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland. So
which, I guess I'm a Donald Sutherland enthusiast because he was in one of my favorite on TV horror movies growing up, which was The Invasion of the Body Snatchers with him and Leonard Nimoy in it.
Oh yeah.
It had one of the most disturbing endings in it of the keep you guessing, where like the girl comes up thinking it's the normal guy and not a pod person, and he starts pointing at her and this shriek starts coming out of his mouth, and it ends on that. Great fucking ending.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was in another like kind of semi-horror movie that I've been told to watch, and I haven't yet.
Donald Sutherland's been in a lot of great movies. And again, like, it's weird because then his son Kiefer, you know, becomes teen star, then action. Action later on. The Lost Boys, where he'll... I mean, The Lost Boys probably... I'd say more of a cult movie than like a great movie, but for people of our age, it's legendary.
Oh, yeah.
And most excessive use of a guy shirtless playing a fucking saxophone. Like, I just remember going, why is that dude playing the saxophone shirtless and so oiled up? Isn't he going to catch fire from all the flames? I thought up some weird shit when I was a kid. Like, I came up with backstories for these people.
Oh, that's awesome. It looks like John's taking the place of Gore tonight by enlightening us with all of his earthly movie knowledge. I love it. This is awesome.
So to get to the movie, it starts with a monologue from Denzel. And it's weird because in my head, like, it started getting to that weird, like, Morgan Freeman from Shawshank with Andy Dufresne. But he's like, let me tell you about the time I died.
Almost died.
Well, no. He starts... no. So he starts talking, and then we go to Elias Koteas, where he's getting put to death. And I do love those scenes, and it reminded me strangely about Tombstone, where Doc Holliday and Michael Biehn start talking in Latin to each other, where Elias Koteas grabs his hand and he starts speaking Aramaic to him.
Yeah.
The Aramaic, also The Exorcist.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in the X-Files about that, too.
Yes. And you already kind of, like, I've watched enough movies to go, oh, well, this isn't going to go well. And then we get introduced to when he's dying, when he starts saying, time is on my side. Oh, yes, it is.
Dude.
I play the music, but I can't.
I mean, it's a classic song, but to take it and use it in the way they did and make it, like, actually make you, I don't know, every time I hear it, I think of that movie. Every single freaking time. So, it's amazing.
So, I'm a huge fan of the unreliable narrator.
Joker.
Not even just Joker. There's been some horror movies where you get the unreliable narrator. Because you're seeing things through their eyes. There is a book called A Head Full of Ghosts, where the whole way through you don't know if the sister is actually trying to fuck with her parents about being possessed or not, because it's through her POV. And it's a great book. It's a very short book, but I think it's kind of good. There's a couple of Stephen King stories too, where the narrator can be considered a little unreliable. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. There's other movies. There's a couple of horror movies that have the unreliable narrator. I'd say at times like.
Good call, John. Good call.
Yes, 100%. And weirdly, Memento is a movie, and there's movies like this I talk about. You watch it once, but once you know the ending, it's hard to watch again because it's kind of spoiled for you.
I agree. I haven't watched Memento since, so I watched it, and then I had to watch it again just because I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? But then that was within the same year as me seeing it, so I haven't seen it since. But who directed
I haven't watched it.
I bet that director is just amazing. I don't know who directed it.
Gee, I wonder. But you know what though? I honestly think now my number one Nolan movie, because I rewatched all of them recently.
Oh, interesting! I can't wait to do it.
So, the one we had John as a guest on, Prestige, it's fighting for number one hard right now.
It's so underrated for sure.
So the genius of the storytelling in it, and John pointed out the circular logic of it, of how they present it. Now it's basically the magic trick playing out on screen, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, dude. Wow, 4 times. Holy crap.
So also like Guy Pearce, another underrated actor who I think just started taking lesser roles.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his, but I did like
I remember getting so excited that he was going to be in Prometheus, and then being like, "Oh, this is what we're getting. This is it."
I remember he was in a movie with, I think it was him, in a movie with Samuel L. Jackson, and it was about, I think, Yemen and the embassy. Rules of Engagement, I believe.
Yes.
And I love that in the theater. Of course, at the time, I think I was still working, or I had connections to get into the theater. But I think I saw that a few times. The soundtrack to that was great. I do remember that. It's not like a classic movie, but it had some moments where it shined.
So weirdly, this movie is considered a bomb.
Budget
was $46 million. Box office, it did $25.2 million. But this is where Carlito and I talk about how Blockbuster was a key thing for us, because you would walk in and you'd walk that new release wall, and there was always something that caught your eye. And for me, this was one of those movies. I didn't see it in the theater.
I didn't either.
And it gained this second life cult classic status. Oh, we got to do this movie sometime. Fuck.
Yeah.
So many great actors.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. Well, maybe it was Blockbuster. I don't know if maybe our local
Blockbuster or Hollywood Video were like the two.
At the time, we had a local guy who owned his own. Actually, it was called the Video Source. I wish I could find pictures and stuff on the internet, but I haven't been able to yet. But it was in a small town here in Iowa, and the owner, oddly enough, the owner's name was Carl. And, he was one of the few other Carls that I knew growing up. But I think that was still open at the time, so that might have been where I saw that. I'm not 100% sure on that though.
So
Hollywood Video, hell yeah.
This becomes a weird possession movie.
Assistant manager.
Ooh.
That's high status.
Yeah.
Not assistant to the assistant manager.
I can just see John walking over going, so I see you're looking at this movie.
Yeah.
Let me take you over to this.
So what is your favorite movie? What do you like? Oh, I got something for you over here. Dude, I would love to go back. If I had a time machine, I wouldn't try to change the world, save the world. I would go back to Hollywood Video, I'm assuming in California, and go talk to John, working before he was an assistant manager, as just the creepy kid from Scream working at Hollywood Video. That'd be awesome.
So I'm not gonna lie, working at Barnes and Noble for so long, I was the graphic novel guy. Where oh, I see you're looking at Batgirl. That is the new Batgirl. That is not the Gail Simone Batgirl. Let me take you over to look at this, because that's crap.
Let's go over here and check this out.
I literally let me be your guide. And I got into a argument with a 12-year-old about Batgirl.
Of course.
She got a little mouthy with me, and I didn't stand for it. I'm a manager at this point.
You see, John, of course he had a shelf.
My recommend shelf would be disastrous. It would be Big Trouble in Little China, Dead Alive, the first Peter Jackson horror movie. I'd have some of the foreign Guillermo del Toro movies, like The Orphanage, or I really like Pan's Labyrinth.
I never saw. I've heard about The Orphanage. I think Perry's mentioned it. She really loves Guillermo.
His storytelling is on point.
Dude, I was thinking,
our first 3 weeks.
Yeah. So this had a lot of Frailty vibes and also Seven vibes, and
which Seven is out already.
Well, okay, fair, but Constantine, I felt a little bit of that in here too.
A little bit.
Did. The movie version, not the TV and comic.
The weird thing is, right after this, him and Morgan Freeman both do big suspense author movies where you had Morgan Freeman doing Kiss the Girls by James Patterson, which I love that movie. I like it a lot. And then one of my favorite authors, Jeffrey Deaver, had Denzel Washington in it with Angelina Jolie doing The Bone Collector.
Ooh, yeah.
Which was another sleeper movie.
Yeah.
Where Denzel's laid up in bed the whole time.
I'm surprised we're not doing that, because I really want to go back and rewatch that. I'll still do it anyway, but
yeah, I really wanted us, because we've talked about Fallen so much, we've talked about Frailty so much, and having Tessa tell me she never watched Zodiac, I'm like, all right, you're on the show.
Crazy. You know what is really creepy? Last night I binged this show that was on FX about the guy that wrote the book, The Most Dangerous Animal. He thought the Zodiac was his father.
Oh,
he was adopted. He was left on the doorsteps, and he was originally just trying to find out who his birth father was. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. I think it's only 4 episodes on Hulu, but
my friend told me I need to watch Dahmer. That Evan Peters is fucking.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. I wish I wouldn't have canceled my Netflix subscription 2 months ago. I kind of want to sign up just for it.
So when I got my new iPhone, they gave me AMC Plus for 6 months for free. So I'm going to be hitting that. And then Hulu, which I still have, Hellraiser's next week. So that's good. Yeah, John, if you want to come on with Tessa, you are more than welcome to. I mean, you, Bearded, and Ryan always have whatever you want to be on. You've got open invite. Robert Graysmith, I have trouble. He's problematic to me. Maybe that's just the way he's played in the movie.
Yeah, I think Angelina Jolie was pretty good in that, and I think obviously Denzel was great. And yeah, the way they set it up towards the end, especially,
there was another big actor in Bone Collector too.
There were a few, I think. But that reminds me, Janice, Tony's sister, Sopranos, was also in Fallen, as I think her name was Terry or Tony or Carrie or something. I can't remember. Tiff. It was Tiff. But I mean, it was a small bit role, but she had her Janice kind of persona going too a little bit.
Oh yeah, Michael Rooker.
Oh yeah,
was in Bone Collector. Luis Guzman, Bobby Cannavale.
He was in that? Oh
Yep,
yeah, he was
Edo-
one of the. I think he was one of the original beat cops that like discovers the
Al Bundy.
stuff under the bridge and stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Queen Latifah was. Man, there was a lot of like. Yeah, there was a lot of decent like Frank Fontaine, which I hear that and I'm like, wait, I've kept confusing it with Johnny Fontaine.
Oh,
which I've got my copies of the 4K Steelbook of all the Godfathers. I even ordered
nice.
Part 3.
Why do you say that like it's a arduous task? I even ordered Part 3.
It's a movie
that some other time.
It's a movie that I don't think I need in 4K. Like, I don't love it. It's not as bad as people say, but again, when you're coming from Part 2,
full circle.
Yes.
Full circle.
Okay, so back to the movie. We keep getting sidetracked, and I'm completely at fault for that. So there is, I think the scene of scenes I posted on Instagram today is where the spirit of I want to say Reeves, and I don't think that's it.
Reeves
is now starting to fuck with Denzel Washington's Hobbs character. And he's in the police station, and he possesses...
Unreal.
He possesses Gandolfini. Gandolfini's like, so, you took looking up a map down in the basement. Did you go upstate? And he's like, yeah, I just went a little trip. And they're doing it back and forth. He goes, come here. And it's like, time is on my side. And the look Denzel gets of like, what the fuck is going on? And then he starts tagging different people around.
Oh my god, dude.
And, Denzel's going crazy. He chases, a guy out of the building. And then he's tagging between the wife and the husband of this old couple. And this is one of those weird movies where you're kind of guessing yourself of like, okay, is this a possessed person? Is it not a possessed person?
Yeah. Dude, you know what's funny? At the beginning, too, not to sidetrack again, sort of, but with Reese, so the first couple times I watched it, I don't think I was paying much close attention. There is a tremendous amount of foreshadowing. And John, yes. I'm sure, could, outline all of it. But holy crap, like, I paid attention this time, and it's just ridiculous. Especially, like, when he says, you should look around a little bit more. And then when he tries to find the name between the other two names, he's down there and he's like, maybe I ought to look around at stuff a little bit more. And it's just like, just little things like that. It's like, man, this is really good writing.
So John just brought up a movie that I think is underrated as fuck. Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon.
That was good.
Which, little dumb fact, Kevin Bacon, there's talk of him being the new Freddy Krueger. And I think he could do an interesting take.
Oh, man, it's just, at this point, it's so hard not to see him as Kevin Bacon. But
well, if you're doing them all make-upped up.
Yeah. I mean, if they totally, that might work. I'm open to it.
Kiss the Girls, fucking great. And
I was gonna say, I actually read the Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider before.
Carrie Elwes, that is so creepy in that movie.
So creepy.
As Casanova. And that scene that always gets me during that movie is when he's interviewing the guy who was teaching his daughter. His niece. I used to turn the air conditioning down so you could see the capillaries constrict.
Freaking creepo.
Just trying to trigger him. And Along Came a Spider. That was the one with Monica Potter, which wasn't as good, but it was still well done. Then they had that Alex Cross movie with I don't want to denigrate him.
Oh yeah.
I just don't think he was right for it. And
Not a fan.
yeah, getting the guy who did Medea being that, just going from Morgan Freeman, it wasn't it. Although I will say, if you want to do a young Alex Cross, Keith Washington from Tenet would be perfect.
Wait, what? Keith?
Yeah. If you did an early like Alex Cross movie, like a young Alex.
It was David, Michael David Washington.
Oh, okay. Am I missing?
I'm thinking
of Keith. I'm thinking of Keith David. Never mind.
I knew it. You're thinking, yeah, Keith David. I knew it.
But yeah, like Denzel's son would be fucking fantastic in that role.
I could probably see that. Yeah.
Yes, Matthew Fox. I think that was Lost was in that.
You know what? I think I'm gonna do next year a triple header of Frailty, Fallen, and either Constantine or Stigmata. I want to do one of those.
Stigmata is one I have not watched in a while.
Dude, all I know is I remember loving that movie, and not many other people did. I know it had its faults and its downfalls, but
so that was at a weird time because there was a bunch of apocalypse movies they were coming out.
There was a bunch of exorcism movies out too. So yeah, and I think the same guy that was in that actually played in End of Days also.
End of Days, yes, that was the other one I was thinking of.
So he kind of did a similar shtick in a few different movies. But, he had to lose a lot of weight.
Oh god, because then I think there was that Dracula.
Yeah, Fox, that's right.
There was that Dracula movie that came out. Also, that was almost an action flick.
Dracula 2000.
Yes,
I remember liking that sort of, just as like a.
It wasn't terrible.
It was a popcorn movie, popcorn movie. It wasn't anything to swear by, but it was just a popcorn movie.
Matthew Fox was interesting because I feel he derailed his own career.
Yeah, maybe he did.
Or just bad choices.
I agree, Heather. Yeah,
Alex
Cross. Too.
They have to be real careful with what they do with it because again, you get the guy who did Medea in that last movie, and
bring Morgan Freeman back.
Maybe even not Morgan Freeman, but if you want to do the earlier stories,
yeah, I guess
cast better than the guy who plays Medea.
Yeah,
that's my opinion on it. Also, I feel like it's been almost enough time that you can go back and do that.
Oh yeah, when was the last one done? Like 2013 or something?
But I mean, even then, the Lincoln Rhymes, there's a shitload of books for that, and Bone Collector, I guess, just didn't do well enough. Again, I could talk about Denzel's catalog of movies for a long time because he has a huge catalog of movies. So this movie, it leaves you guessing because, again, unreliable narrator, guessing game of what's going on. You have a female character who has knowledge of what's going on, and we start learning about Azazel.
I really liked her too. I don't recall her name, but I really liked her. She was good for that role.
Weirdly reminded me of Scully a little bit.
You know what? Now that you say that, yeah, kind of a little bit.
She had the look.
A little bit.
I think you disrespect him a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You're trying to unlock this mystery of what's going on, and there's a whole setup scene where a teacher pulls a gun that's possessed, and of course possesses a girl who goes on the news. He goes, "Yeah, he just pulled and started shooting." And
didn't she take the gun too? I think so. They didn't think he had a gun.
Yeah,
they're saying like he was crazy and imagined it or something.
So Donald Sutherland, they play him out like a villain, and I wouldn't say he's a villain. He's just doing his job.
I think he's a
Antagonist, maybe, but
yeah.
he's a villain.
That's fair. No, he's not a villain.
He's playing by the because there's this scene where he's talking to John Goodman, and he's like, "Look, we bring him in. He's clean, great, but I'm bringing him in."
I was thinking Donald in that role is like he's close to retirement. He just doesn't want any drama.
He's Danny Glover.
He just wants to finish out his police work and move on. You know, that's how I feel about it. But he doesn't get that chance.
Also, like, I'm surprised Mel Gibson didn't end up in any of these weird kind of sci-fi horror roles, because I felt like he could have been good in one of these.
I mean, Conspiracy Theory was kind of close.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But that's probably the closest he got to that.
Probably. I mean, it's probably more he just had no interest in it. I mean,
I was thinking, I don't think that's something he would really.
I also don't think he even loved being in Road Warrior.
Nah.
In those movies, but
I think that was to get him into the door of Hollywood, kind of, sort of, a little bit.
So we get to the ending. There's a showdown. Hobbs, which I hate saying Hobbs because all I start thinking about is Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. Just real quick, there was foreshadowing with the cat earlier in the film,
which I
didn't think about until this time I watched it. So.
I forgot all about.
Yeah. Anyway.
Which I think you're meant to forget all about it.
You kind of are a little bit, yeah, because you kind of so much going on
there. So they're at the cabin, and basically he starts speaking in Aramaic at the cabin as the people are coming out of the woods to find him. He's been set up for murder. His brother had been murdered. He was injected with heroin or something. They didn't ever really say.
I think it was probably that poison that was used on the other victims to make it look like he did that too. And then you have his fingerprints on the needle after he touched it. So it's like, well, he's pretty much screwed after that.
So they're doing that, and he thinks it's Donald Sutherland the whole time. And then John Goodman comes out of the woods, and he's playing it pretty well, like being like, just let him go. We can set this up. And Donald Sutherland's like, no. He's like, put the gun down. The gun's Donald Sutherland right in the fucking head.
I'm not gonna lie though. The first time I saw this, I thought it was actually Donald Sutherland that was, like you said, they were kind of setting him up to be sort of a villain, but he wasn't really.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that in the credits this time, and that gave me pause because I never noticed that before.
Nicholas Leo.
Sadly, it's like John's writing a documentary on him or something.
So I mean, there's Kasavitz, or that family has been in movies forever, doing writing and behind the scenes stuff. I think it's Kasavitz. They were involved with Dog Day Afternoon and everything like that. And they have a long career in there. And I just remember one of them was married to Tori Spelling from 90210.
I did notice Charles Robin is one of the producers on it.
It's a WB movie, yeah.
Right. But I never thought about that before until, because I don't think when I saw that movie originally, I knew who he was anyways.
So we have the showdown out in the snow, and I love that Denzel has his "I fucking got you, motherfucker" moment. Oh,
Robert,
well, we're about to welcome to the show our guest a little late.
Hey.
The Godfather is here.
Hey,
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Oh my God, Dan Carlito. I have to tell you, I did. This is my favorite. One of my favorite beers right now.
What is that?
This is an organic organic chocolate stout.
Chocolate stout. Good Lord, they are getting so
Oh.
creative these days.
It is
I'm allergic
fantastic.
to chocolate, and that sounds delicious.
Oh, poor Dan. Poor Dan.
So,
we were
you
getting near
guys,
the
I apologize. I'm
end.
late. Hello,
Nope.
everybody in the chat. And I've been getting caught up on the show. I remember this show. I had to go buy it. So I was getting caught up. I'm in the first hour and a half, and I remember it. Yo, yes.
I have a question to ask you because we were just talking earlier. Have you talked to Kennedy's comic kid? Is he okay where he's at?
Yeah, they're okay. I
Okay.
talked to a couple buddies on there. They had a little tree damage, some fence damage, but otherwise they're doing okay. Jeff, I haven't heard anything of as of recently. I know he's supposed to be on tonight, so we'll see.
Okay, because I know he was in the Tampa area, and I was a little worried about it because
they got a lot more wind damage than they did anything. A couple trees down. My buddy Jim down there, I think a fence of his was down. He was showing me pictures in the back. It looked like a big windstorm that came through their place. So
yeah, I started talking at the beginning. I was a little pissed off that people were losing their houses, and we had people in the community bitching about their books at CGC.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sorry, like you and I talk about a lot, just empathy, like how it costs nothing to have empathy for people and what they're going through. And it angered me seeing people literally watching on the news, people's houses wash away.
Yeah.
And you're going to bitch about your book that's insured anyway. Like,
yeah.
If
you sent, listen, here's my whole take. All right. Everybody's ever since the beginning of the month, they've been griping about the grading companies. We already know that the grading companies have faults.
Man,
blah, blah, blah.
It never ends anyway.
Yeah, it never ends. And they keep doing this vicious circle. For all you CGC collectors out there, I collect CGC as well and CBSI, but I am smart now. I don't send my books in anymore. If I want a book that bad and I want it graded, I'll go buy it outright, just the way it is.
There you go.
Period. Just to be safe. For right now, I let everything calm down. Everybody is getting all blown out of proportion because of it, and it's understandably so. But it's
not the be all end all. It really isn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There isn't. But when you're talking about real life stuff like what's going on right now, that's a tragedy, and it's the part of the world you live in. That's the hurricane season. It's here. It's like my buddy down in the last
3 years we haven't had anything. So
my buddy lives in West Virginia. I think it was West Virginia. So they got a lot of wind damage. They had power outages for the last few days now, so constantly having power outages. So
our friend Actual Dracula, they had a hurricane hit Canada.
Yeah.
It blew up. And that was low in the damage it caused. So again, like if you don't know what it's like to be in it, please don't come with your bullshit. Like honestly, it's frightening. And
to get back to what you're saying about the CGC gripe. So for all you CGC collectors out there going to send books in, insure your book. If it gets lost, you're insured. Period. Well, you lost your original book. Whoopie-doo. It's only a piece of paper and it's expensive paper. Yep. I've had it happen too, but that's it.
Speaking of insurance. Oh,
yep.
Go ahead. I was just saying, I am thankful that I'm not a property claims adjuster anymore.
No,
they're going to be busy as shit.
Can you imagine their nightmare right now?
Oh God.
So just to give you an idea of what goes on with insurance in Florida, if your roof is over 10 years, they don't give you notice. They cancel your insurance without telling you.
Wow.
There is legislation going on against this, but this is a thing that goes on down here. And I'm one of those people that they randomly, right before storm season, canceled my insurance.
Wow.
When I worked at Nationwide, well, I don't know if I should say that. But,
when you work for an insurance company.
When I worked for a nationwide insurance company, they used to insure like 99.8% of the states, and pretty much most of the places that weren't insurable were in Florida.
Wow. Yeah. And and the same thing is too, you have to really watch your insurance policies, because I have quite a few now. And the thing is,
Read those policies.
yep. And here's a little side note for all you people that got mortgages and pay extra household insurance for your mortgage. A lot of people don't realize this as well. Do you realize that, let's say you have a 30-year fixed mortgage and you're making your payment once a month, a piece of that goes into an insurance policy for the bank. That's what they call it. Okay. When the 30-year term is up, that extra money you paid into an extra insurance policy, that money is yours, not the bank's. And a lot of people don't claim on that.
Will not claim on your taxes. They ask you what your MIP is.
Yeah, but they don't know that, and they don't get that money back after the 30. Think about what the interest, whatever the interest rate. They're smarter than that. That they put that money in.
Does this fit in the state fund of uncollected?
Yeah.
Money. Okay.
Yeah. One of the things a lot of people don't realize that too. It's a whole scam. It irritates me. Irritates me. But constantly, you got to watch it. You really got to watch it.
So we're pretty well into the movie, Robert. What were your thoughts? You just finished watching it.
Well, I didn't finish watching it.
I didn't either.
I was trying not to be late. I was late already an hour. I'm sorry, guys.
How far did you get into it?
Hour.
Okay, so I think you may have seen. No, maybe not.
It was another hour. I got into the part where all the touching was.
Okay.
The funny thing is that okay? Is her name changed? Is that Alyssa Milano?
No. The character's name is Milano, but that's a different.
I know
actress.
the character is, but who's the actress?
I don't.
That actress looks really familiar.
She looked like Gillian Anderson.
I thought she was a French actress.
I think you know what? I
don't know what her name is.
What is her name?
Embeth.
There's a part. Sorry, go ahead.
Embeth de Viets.
Yeah, see, I thought she was like a European.
She is
I've
actress
seen her
who is in Army of Darkness, Schindler's List,
Matilda. Schindler's List.
That's it. I knew I recognized her.
Yep. Absolutely.
But you know what? I'm sorry. Denzel Washington movie. Denzel. I said it right? Washington.
Yeah.
That actor is phenomenal. Everything I've seen him in has been excellent.
Everything.
And the thing is, if you guys have never watched any of his, I don't know if you ever guys watch, once in a blue moon, I'll catch when some of these actors like him, for example, do these inspirational speaking, where they do inspirational thinking, and he does stuff for colleges. Oh my God. Blow your mind what comes out of that.
He's one of my favorites.
Absolutely. So did you watch Chadwick Boseman? That dedication he did to Denzel Washington paid for his acting school on the sly.
Yes. Unbelievable. But that's one of those top-notch actors out there, and he's very humble about it.
Yep.
But I mean,
he's underappreciated. I really think he is.
Huge. But this movie, you guys, I know where it's going. And I see it, and it reminds me of so many other movies put together. I have to get to it's got me excited because now it's in my brain, and I'm getting caught up. And I'm like, God, this is so good.
It's a brainworm, man. I'm excited for you to get to the part where have you already seen it, or is this?
I know I seen it a long time ago.
It's been a while. So there's a part coming up right after where you're at, where him and Jonesy are sitting in the police department talking,
and they're singing. Time and it goes by one guy. Yeah, that was awesome.
That's so good.
And he's watching, and then he goes out to the street and follows the little Jewish guy down the street.
Yeah,
and they're all everybody.
I thought that looked like Martin Scorsese. I don't know what Martin Scorsese looked like. I was like, God dang, he could really play him. I wonder if that was the guy that played him in another movie.
Also, to our viewers, if you haven't watched Glory, which was probably one of the best ensemble casts, Matthew Broderick gives a good performance, but the African American actors in that movie is a master class.
Denzel's in that too.
Morgan Freeman,
Morgan Freeman's another one. Oh my goodness!
Cheers, brother.
Salud.
Cheers. I got to keep going. I got the rest of the night yet. I still got a show to do tonight.
But anyway, Robert, so there's a point where you're going to get to where some stuff happens, and
The Aramaic parts
Yes.
are really getting to me. Because I did a little bit of study on that, and it's really interesting, especially the old language.
supposedly it hasn't been spoken out loud in like 3,000 years. Or something.
Right.
Except in the Exorcist movies.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
Movies, yeah. Anyway, Robert, there's a philosophical moment between him and Jonesy. We got to talk about it once you get there, because
Okay.
that whole little discussion was just like, man, this is me and Robert talking right now. Like, it was so good.
Okay. Cool. Wait a minute.
Okay. And of course, I'm Jonesy because I'm fat, but you know.
Andre
Brower. He was in a ton of the Stephen King movies. He was in The Mist.
Oh, I know who this is.
Which one?
He was also in the
put the
It
name with
TV
the face.
movie playing the older version of Mike.
I know it because I seen Mist. You know, Mist is right up my alley. That's
Mist is a great movie.
That's H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes.
That's more
Oh, yeah.
H.P. I gotta show you guys something. This is an art print I've been trying to buy. Can I show you guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's the little nakedness, but it's not really. It's clean. Okay. I'm really excited because a buddy of mine named Bruce Manston. Big shout out to you, brother. He gave me a bunch of old heavy metal magazines from the 90s. But I want to show you guys something. This is going to get a little
risque.
Hold on, kinda. But I'll make it clean. Don't worry. This is heavy metal pinups. This is really good, but there's a reason in this one. This one's called Penthouse Comics. They did this. They did this monthly, but I want to tell you something.
The Milo Manara stuff.
There's a Japanese artist named, what did you just call him?
Well,
Did you
Milo
say his
Manara
name?
was Italian.
No, this one's Soyorama. I'm going to say, I'm gonna butcher this.
Sorayama. Yeah.
Sorayama.
You ready? This is the actual print that he put up. And I've been to his website. The actual art piece is like $5,000.
Oof.
Yeah.
But this is something I'm working towards. Hold on. Wait till you check this out.
Holy crap.
Oh, that's awesome.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Not trying to get too sexual, but
No, Jen would be all over that.
isn't that beautiful?
It is.
I love it, man.
That is so. I've been trying to track down that piece. Now, this came out in like 91, I think it was 1991.
Really?
Yeah, and I've been trying to track down that art piece. I remember seeing it years ago, but there's another variation of it where the woman's legs are more robotic. It's weird. There's like another representation that he did of it.
And that's
But
before like
artist-
digital stuff.
There's
This is not like porn. This is really good art. There's some really good art pieces in this. This is like got
heavy metal and Penthouse Comics kind of get labeled as that, but what's not known is that a lot of them are up and coming artists that are basically taking their shot.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stories are kind of over the top, but the art, some of the art pieces are unbelievable, beautiful pieces.
So something you and Kennedy's Comic Kid might not know. My co-host of the graphic novel book club Gambit, he's done Dynamite sketch cards for their card sets.
Are you kidding?
So he's an artist for them. Chaos. He did the Joseph Michael Linsner Dawn series for the card set, doing original art for them.
What?
Yeah, he just posted a Vampirella that he did the other day. Just fucking.
Oh, Jeff's gonna love that.
Oh,
Well,
see, the latest piece, the latest new comic book that I bought. I think I showed you last week.
Well, he just does the card sets.
Just the card set.
Yeah.
Well, this is brand new. This I had.
Yeah, Thiago Silva.
I'm thinking about buying the metal cover of this.
Good Lord.
Yeah, that's
I saw that last week,
that's
right?
beautiful.
It's gorgeous. And it's clean. It's like
there's an artist I got a commission comic cover from Turner. She does a lot of the Dynamite stuff and Lady Death now for Coffin Comics.
Yeah.
And her stuff, it's a little anime, but it always looks fantastic. And every now and again, she opens up her commissions for covers, and they'll do CGC options. She did
if I'm not mistaken, I've got some Jenny Frizen from Dynamite back in the day.
Jenny Frizen's good. A lot of her work.
Frizen's great.
Yes.
I just saw it. It was a half price books, and I'm like, I don't even care about the story, but that cover is gorgeous. I'm buying it.
Oh yeah.
No, Frizen's amazing. Especially her Something Is Killing the Children cover. The first one was amazing, and it's fucking expensive at this point.
I'm glad I pre-ordered like 6 of those, but I sold them too soon. But still, I didn't lose any money on it. I made good money. Reinvested it into more comics, of course.
Definitely.
It was funny, Jamie, because
to have it.
Carlito and I were talking. I was like, "Man, I felt unprepared for show and tell at the end of the show."
No,
I've been out for a while, so I was definitely unprepared.
Never ever.
So I'm in the weird place where, like, kind of like you, I'm buying my childhood.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I've had that talk with Rodney Barnes when he was on my show last time, where he said he's buying his childhood, where he did the most insane show and tell on the show that I've ever been involved in, where he had the first Constantine from Swamp Thing. He's like, I just randomly
I
bought
watched
this.
that. That was excellent.
But Rom, I'm buying the old Rom series because I know it's never going to be reprinted.
Yeah.
Dude, I've got some. You should buy them.
It's interesting. Do you know, you used to find those like crazy in the dollar bin, and now it's like all of a sudden. They're all of a sudden getting popular.
Tomb of Dracula. I know I'm never going to own number 10.
How do you know you never will? How do you know you never will?
At least not in high grade. I won't.
I just want the reprint. That's all I want.
Who cares?
With Tomb of Dracula, Gene Colan's art, I've become such a...
It's excellent, isn't it?
He's great, and his inker, I will say, never gets enough credit. And
Did
I
he
think
do some Batman a few times?
Gene Colan did a lot of stuff. Iron Man was something that he did.
Iron Man, did Batman. Yep. Oh yeah.
But anyway, I tried to, when I first got back into the hobby, like 2016, I was going to get some Tomb of Dracula, but
I'm still working on Tomb of Dracula. I'm trying to get a whole run. I'm close. I'm close.
You'll get it.
So I had someone offer me issue 1 for $200, and I came pretty close to pulling the trigger.
Should have asked.
What did it look like?
Yeah, that's true.
So my problem was there was some spine damage that I was kind of
You should have offered him 150.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
That was the spine damage.
I have a book that takes priority over that, which is Spider-Man 121.
Okay.
There you go.
So I was talked in by the Comic Queen, otherwise called the Comics Queen now.
Yeah.
She said, go find a raw and really good, very fine.
I know her. I had her on the show once, you guys.
Yeah. So she was telling me, don't buy a graded version, but she's talked me into going and finding a raw.
Yep. And
kind of getting it pressed and going from there. And I was like, you know what? You might be right.
Yeah, it is a smart idea.
But Gwen Stacy's become so popular now, it's a little bit harder at the moment.
It is a tiny bit. But if these are true books that you want in your collection, trust me, the universe is going to come your way and it'll land in your lap one day.
Yeah. So I'm in that weird thing where, like, my boy Morbius always is shitting all over CGC people. But the funny thing is, I always have a reading copy of what I get graded.
Sure.
Yeah. I've always been a proponent of that for sure.
Yep.
Because it's like, I mean, it's cool to have, like, if you have that graded copy, but if you don't have a reading copy of it, like, it's just window dressing.
And, you know, and also, too, the nice thing, too, is a lot of these ones that you're trying to grail up on, you can actually buy them in omnibuses and trains.
The Epic collections from Marvel are great presentations. I've got a lot of the Hulks like that right now, which for the McFarlane Hulks right now, great way to own it because they got expensive.
And as an example of that,
I had a first appearance of Miles Morales in the whatchamacallit. Well, I had the originals too, but I also had the the collectors, whatever the reprint was called. I can't remember what it's called.
Ooh.
All right, so this here is awesome, especially if you want to do some research on some of the older books. But this is number one. And what's cool about this is it will show you
Love it.
the books of that time period. They'll show you the numbers. Every page you go through, and it gives a little thing about what each book was. Look at all that.
That's awesome.
I think Golden Age Guru has a bunch of those, doesn't he?
Conan's. Look at all the Conan's. It's a nice reference checklist. I haven't had the heart yet to check things off. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. They even do it for Golden Age too. All the X-Men.
I remember a time I would buy Kirby stuff just because of the art. Like I wouldn't even read it. I just bought it for Kirby's art.
I'm a huge fan of the IDW artist editions.
Yeah.
I've got the Frank Miller Born Again.
Yep.
And I've also got the graffiti DC version of Dark Knight Returns.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
And they have the overlays on them of the art corrections, which is fucking incredible, with the notes from the editor to Frank. And I know
The Dark Knight, greatest comic book movie of all time. Cheers.
People hate Frank Miller and Frank Miller's politics. I understand.
A lot of people. He did some great movies as well. I'm sorry, Sin City.
Sin City was the first one.
Sin City, 300. I'm sorry. Yeah, those are great movies. And a lot of people don't know this, and they're just starting to catch on. But one of the first Elektra runs, that short miniseries, that was Frank Miller's work.
With him and Sienkiewicz.
But also Frank Miller did some of the work too on that.
So, yes. Yeah, I remember.
And also Amanda Connor was the model for Elektra in that studio for them.
Yep.
Way to go, Jimmy Palmiotti, just saying.
Also, Frank Miller, his work on Batman for the time, and I know people kind of want to shit on it.
Yeah.
They'll say Mazzucchelli for year one. That never gets made without Frank's name.
Yeah.
And
I think that's right.
I'm 100%. I will call out Frank for some weird racist shit.
Yeah.
Especially in Ronin, where I had a former extreme artist.
Yeah.
Who used to work for Rob Liefeld come on with me and talk about it. The amount of use of slant and chink in it was. I get it. There's a weird point in time where, but now being older, reading it, I was like, man, like, probably not okay. I understand separating the story from the man. It's hard for me to read it now, but
yeah,
we got through it. But I will call the shit out.
Yeah, of course.
And you kind of have to.
Sure.
At this point, you have to. And I have to remember, as someone who grew up in New York at the time, hearing the shit that came out of my parents' mouth.
Yep. Where in New York did you used to live?
Long Island.
I was in Manhattan for a while. Grew up
so my mom was a British transplant that grew up in Brooklyn.
Excuse me. Okay.
So she had two of the worst accents combined into one.
Most of my young childhood was jumping off rooftops and mostly spent a lot of time in Chinatown.
A lot
of Asian friends growing up as kids.
I was up there for fireworks season constantly.
Well, my great-grandfather, he ran a restaurant. My great-grandfather was a Fong. So
really?
that's my Mandarin heritage, yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love Chinatown when I visited there.
Oh, yeah. And it's cleaned up a lot since then. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I got lucky when I went. It was one of the cleanest times in history there in New York. But
And I know everybody's here for the movie content, but we're
Oh yeah, I forgot.
we're kind of doing a guest
squirrel.
origin.
We're doing
No, no.
squirrel. We're doing a G-Man thing. Squirrel. We went squirrel.
Christopher Nolan just went by my window. What?
This is the normal thing for the show. We get off topic, but
John's gone. He checked out.
We're all comic book fans that are film fans, so it kind of goes hand in hand. And I think these are the two cultures that are the most alike, because you're a little bit, I don't want to say downtrodden, but as a film fan, you like what you like, and you will defend to death what you like.
Okay.
I won't.
Wait. He's got a point, and I like that point.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to say something, and you can take it as it is, but I am enjoying it. Now, I know I'm an older adult here, but there's a lot of hate going out there about the new Lord of the Rings, okay? And like I said before, it's a history lesson. We know the original story from Tolkien, okay? The movies were taken out a little bit of context if you did not know that. Most of the movies were. Yeah, taken totally out of context from the original book.
No way.
100 years almost since the last.
You mean they took creative liberties? No way.
So the new one, Tolkien got a shout out in the very first episode. He did get some credit because of the ideas and some of the story ideas that are in this story. So this is all new creative team that have put this together, because you got a lot of different differentials in this new show. This is before what we all know of Lord of the Rings, so at a different time. The interesting side note to this is when we read in the Lord of the Rings and watched these movies, what was going on in the time frame of history of these stories and all of the
One.
What's that?
World War I. He was
Yep.
he was a soldier during
The
World
Industrial
War I.
Revolution. The Industrial Revolution. All this stuff was going on. All these things are said in the book, and even in the movies, you'll see them. Now, bump it up to right now, and now there's a new Lord of the Rings trilogy. Tolkien gets a shout out for this idea. Total different creative team. Now, what I am liking is, because of what's going on in our environment right now, politically, socially, sexually, everything, it's all being presented in this show. Okay. And I give it a thumbs up. I'm still getting my fantasy. I'm still getting a little bit of Tolkien love. As an old guy, I know the stories and I'm enjoying it. A lot of people can hate me for it. That's okay. But there's too much hate out there already as there is on a lot of these story ideas. It's just like the House of Dragons.
Mermaid shit is crazy.
This is getting old. It's getting old. I mean, give me a break. You got guys like in the 70s. I've seen this. You've even told me too. And it's like, you got guys of my age at like 70 that are freaking out over Little Mermaid being black.
It's a bunch of Kyles and Karens. That's all it is.
Give me a break. Give me a break. It's still the
fishing the
same
bitch.
story. Doesn't matter. It's the same story. Give it up. It's like,
Yeah, I'm a rarity. I have not read the Lord of the Rings stuff by Tolkien. So I think actually,
Carlito, it does take a lot. It's a very big book.
Right.
It's very
I'm not gonna.
So there are YouTube channels that will fill in everything you will ever want to know. There is
So my brother read them, and he loved the trilogy, and we watched the first two together. And then I haven't seen Return of the King yet, but I need to watch that. But it's been like 10 years since I finally watched the first two.
All right, Dan, I think we just lost watchers.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, we diverted from the news, so
that wasn't
it's fine. Me and Dan are just here in our own little world, and everybody else is welcome to. But
I like shit.
So actually, tonight earlier, I had a friend. Actually, it was Heather who texted me and said I should check out Rings of Power. And honestly, the only reason why I've avoided it is because I haven't seen Return of the King. I don't really care about.
You don't need to.
You don't need to be honest.
So this is before.
This story that they're telling is before all this stuff happens.
Okay.
It's the beginning.
And I haven't seen the Hobbit stuff either. So
you don't need to.
Right. And you don't need to, because this is before all that.
So yeah, I might check it out. I'll check it out.
It's good so far. I mean,
I
it's just
trust
kind of.
Robert's judgment, so I'll check it out.
I mean, it's good so far. And
Hey,
the cool thing.
there she is. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it gets old, doesn't it? It just gets old.
Yes,
Like
exactly. They don't
like
watch
what
the
you
whole.
like, and then you know what? Why worry about what other people like?
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So you don't like it, don't watch it. You know.
I will bring up right now. People are gonna hate the new Hellraiser.
See,
Really?
I know, and I'm looking forward to it.
Why?
Here.
Okay,
Let me finish.
Was this the after show or was this live last week? I was a little drunk, so I don't remember.
Just let Robert go.
Yeah, go ahead, Robert. We had this discussion, so.
I'm a huge Hellraiser fan. Huge Clive Barker fan. Now, Clive Barker put his name behind this. Now, this is something I want to explain right off the top before people lose their minds, because people are already going to lose their minds.
Right.
This comes out on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It's the 7th.
I thought it was the 3rd.
Nope, 7th.
It is. Well, I'm watching it. I know that. But listen, okay? I did make fun of it. Gore, what is up?
Yo.
Evening. The reason I watched Enjoy the Lord of the Rings film trilogy was the romantic story, which I don't.
Frodo and Sam were
Gore, I
don't
love
know. Oh, that's great. I love it.
Gore is awesome.
Yeah. All Gore.
Yeah. So here's the cool thing. I was kind of making fun with my buddies that don't have the same kind of thinking as I do, to put a little humor in it, to make them watch it, at least give it a shot. Now, listen, if you watch the preview and you listen, it's going to be a retelling story. Again, different genre. What was Clive Barker really about when it came to his story, especially the Hellraiser story? It doesn't matter what sex you are. It has nothing to do with it.
It was pleasure and kink, basically.
And it was what that person actually felt inside. Because if you look at like when they did the other movie and they're in their own hell, what were they living out? Their own fantasies in their own twisted way, in their own hell. But rewind, you see the female, apparently that's the female or male. You really can't tell, especially if you listen to the voice. So all I can say is big kudos to, what is it called? Non-binary. Boom. There we go.
Androgynous. We talked about this.
Yes.
More than that. Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I like Clive Barker in the Boom comics. A female Pinhead appeared. It wasn't written by Barker, but I think.
No, it's Kirsty.
You got it. Yep.
But in the Scarlet Gospel, it was a female hell priest.
Or you should get Hulu.
So the actress playing Pinhead is trans.
Who is it?
See, I rest my case.
So Clive Barker in his book never presented the hell priest as male or female.
Yep.
So 100% this is what he's about. Also, low-key flex, a friend of mine, Dylan, from the community, was like, oh yeah, I'm friends with Clive's stepdaughter.
Wow.
And been to his house, which has a giant laminate configuration puzzle box in the living room.
I believe it.
And he's
that's a high key flex. Come on.
He got to see the early showing of this due to his friendship with her. And he said it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. See,
so this is Clive's pure vision. Clive hated the movies because one, he hated the word Pinhead. It was never in his wheelhouse. And two, Pinhead, the Hell Priest, was supposed to be androgynous.
Yep.
What I always imagined was Tilda Swinton from Constantine.
Yep.
Which, if you haven't seen Constantine,
oh shit,
Swinton.
Dude, I even forgot about that. Holy crap, that is a
awesome, Dan.
That is a great fucking reference.
So in that trailer,
or she was Gabriel, and I forgot all about.
In that trailer,
so great.
You hear the Hell Priest talking with a male voice, but with a female visage.
Yes,
which 100%. Hiring this trans actress who was in the L Word apparently on Showtime was
doesn't matter, Gore.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
it was a brilliant decision. And
Yeah.
for Clive, who is a queer genre maker, it makes perfect sense. And Jen and I, Comic Books Will Break Your Heart, talked about this. She was like, I'm in love with this Pinhead, which totally makes 100% sense.
Yep.
Jen and I have talked about everything under the sun, so 100% this makes sense. And
Of course it does.
we both love Clive's work.
And that's what I try to tell people, and they don't understand what I'm saying. I'm like, see, you said it perfectly, Dan. Beautiful. Perfect.
Yep.
Clive Barker. Also, there is on Shudder, if you subscribe that.
I know what you're talking about.
Service,
yes.
There is a queer horror documentary going on.
Yeah.
Which focuses on Clive quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, see, I okay, listen. My one day, if I ever get out of this friggin' state because of all the crap that's happened, I want to go to these cons. I miss Clive Barker. What was it? 2 years ago, there was a horror con down in Florida, and the boys were down there. My buddy Jim, he's a big horror fan as well. Jim Boatwright and family.
Oh yeah, Jim Boatwright. Yeah.
Jim Boatwright. Yep.
Yeah.
And he was down there at a horror con, and Jeff was down there, and Jeff walked right past. It was like, apparently there was these walls with art pieces, and it had Hellraiser stuff on it. Clive Barker was there.
Oh,
He was book signing.
Oh my God.
Clive Barker's paintings are incredible.
Amazing. I watched him when he was in his 50s, dude, in his 40s. I used to watch him on his YouTube. He used to have a YouTube channel when he was having a Fat Daddy cigar. He's a handsome man. Yeah.
Holy shit.
When he was all beefed out, smoking a big fat cigar, doing all of his art pieces
with
inside
throat
of his
cancer,
house.
No less.
Yes, I know.
Poor
guy's dealing with a lot right now. But
so him and H.R. Giger are the two people that their artwork is based on their nightmares.
Yes. And you know what's cool too? If you go and watch H.R. Giger when he was in his 50s, when he was talking and he didn't have his stroke yet, when he was still walking around, they show his wife is doing a video documentary of him when he's like in his 50s. He's in his living room. He's got 3 huge canvas pieces sitting in his living room, blank. And he's taking his airbrush, freehand, and he's doing the masterpiece of the xenomorph and the woman together in one big piece, but in a 3-picture frame lineup. It was amazing. Freehand. I mean, just dude. And it was okay. Sorry. I meet Barker 4 years ago. He has been escorted by someone. He was hunched over. Yes, it has.
So my impression of him has always been he's very grateful of his fans.
Yes.
He is very hateful of how his material has been treated.
Exactly. Because they kind of monopolized on it and never really, I mean, it's just like one of his other, but see, here's the cool thing too. When I came across Clive Barker, I'm sorry, if I'm talking too much, I'll just rewind.
This is about horror, so we're talking horror.
You got me on a good subject. I'm sorry, because I love this dude.
I don't think that's the thing. I think Robert can talk as much as you want.
So just before we start this downward, what are we rating Fallen?
Oh, shit.
A 9, hands down. Ooh. 9. I give it a 9.
I'm at a solid 8.
Okay. But then I have another hour to watch of it. So
yeah,
I'm gonna, shit, that's tough because I still have to rewatch the finish. But right now I'm gonna say solidly, I feel 8.5 in between you guys.
Okay.
But I could see it being a 9 depending on how I feel after the ending.
His acting is awesome, and the things that are happening, just the way they did it.
The dialogue, the film, so it reminds me of 7 in that, like, it does seem like it's pretty gloomy and rainy most of the time. So, but anyway, yeah. So, Robert, next time you go to a horror con, let me know because I'm going.
Say it again.
Next time you go to a horror con, I'll be there. I'm going.
Oh, I want to go. Yeah, but see, I
So-
didn't get a chance to go to it. That's
Let
the thing.
me know, man.
We got
Cool.
Dan,
the Empire in
I'd be
Orlando
down for
in
it.
2 weeks.
so what's that Texas Horror Fest or what's that called?
Texas Frightmares.
Frightmares or something. Yeah, I've been
That'd be
wanting to
so
go to
cool.
that. Like Perry talks about all this shit, so I'm kind of getting back into
Talking
that.
about
but-
Jim. So we also like the stuff with I told him that New York Times review with an insult. I said,
Yes, very much. The New York Times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Never spoke kindly. Even Stephen King, when he'd be on their list, they kind of shit on it.
In Dallas, okay.
The Joe Bob Briggs is always at the Texas Con.
Joe Bob Briggs, dude. I grew up on that guy. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love that guy.
I actually followed Darcy the Mail Girl on Shudder. They have a Joe
Holy
Bob
shit!
back
Is
on.
she like on social media and stuff? I need to
Oh
follow.
yes, and she posts nudes.
Oh well, I don't know. I'm not really down for that, but
They're tasteful.
okay. I mean, I guess I'm all open to.
Her name's Diana Prince.
Okay.
In real life, like weirdly enough,
But
it's Diana Prince.
That's hilarious, actually. Kind of ironically. Yeah. So yeah, 8.5, solid 8.5 right now, but that could go up or down depending on once I finish it again. I don't remember what I gave Frailty. What did I give Frailty? Do you remember?
We're not up to Frailty yet. We got another.
No,
week
but
for that.
like prior, because we've done it before, right?
No, we haven't.
Oh, we haven't.
We've just discussed it, but we've never actually done the movie.
All right, never mind.
Which now I'm excited to do it because
Dude.
I think Bill Paxton gives his best performance ever in that movie because
Bill
it's
Paxton,
vulnerable.
rest in peace, man. That guy.
Although I've never watched Twister, I still haven't watched Twister.
You gotta watch that. You know, it's yeah. I don't know. It's good. It's good.
Are you a Tarantino fan, by the way?
Absolutely.
They're re-releasing all his movies on 4K.
Finally, holy shit!
So the Pulp Fiction Steelbook looks fucking amazing, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
So I only have a couple of them on Blu-ray, so I'm gonna have to order that steelbook.
From Dusk Till Dawn, I think, is unbelievably underrated, especially for
Yeah.
George Clooney's performance because
Oh,
he's
hell
such a
yeah.
magnificent asshole.
That's out of character. Well, I guess not totally out of character, but
And
mostly
Reservoir
out of
Dogs
character.
also has a great cover for their Steelbook.
Oh.
I just need them to do Grindhouse.
I loved
That's
it.
been-
Loved
that's
Grindhouse. I'm sorry,
That's
but
been
I
out
like
of print for 5 years.
Yep.
I don't know if I saw Grindhouse. I don't know.
Oh.
Hey, listen, my
mean-
daughter met him on the street and she went, "Chartreuse!" And he turned around and smiled and said, "Chartreuse back."
So him and Eli Roth did a 4-hour discussion about horror and cinema that was fucking incredible. Eli Roth, I don't like his movies, but ooh.
You haven't seen Frailty? Oh my
Whoa.
god! One of the biggest underrated gems for sure, especially in Bill Paxton's repertoire. That's the damn.
So also a Matthew McConaughey movie I don't hate.
Yeah.
But it was Bill Paxton's first shot at directing.
Yeah, you hated McConaughey in Interstellar.
He also
Makes
did
me-
Big Love. I
makes
liked
me
him in
sad.
Big Love too.
I never saw Big Love.
Big Love was kind of a religious movie. It was very
Oh.
interesting. Show actually. That was very interesting. He did a very good job acting that. Yeah, it's called Big Love.
But
Here's
he was
something I want to
in-
show you guys. Here's some horror related stuff. This is from the actual cabin from Evil Dead 2.
Oh, geez.
A brother of mine, Jim, made this for me, and this is the Book of the Dead. But it's made from the actual wooden cabin. It was a piece from the wood that he did, and he made a necklace
There's
out of it.
pieces of it supposedly like
That's
if you
cool.
walk out there, it's still there in Carolina.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Big shout out to
That is
Jim
cool.
Boatwright.
So just recently, Shout Factory released the
Nice. I like the new one. I'm
reboot.
sorry.
I liked
I
it.
like
The
it.
uncut version was incredibly good. So they got the 4K edition, just came out the other day, and I just got it. Haven't opened it yet.
You have
Is
to
it
let me
on
know how
Shudder,
it is.
Dan? Are those movies on Shudder or Amazon? Or
I want to say they're on Amazon right now. The Evil Dead movies, Army of Darkness, the 4K Steelbook comes out.
Heather, you haven't seen it because you wouldn't have forgot about this. I'm telling you right now.
No way. No
when
way.
I saw it, I never forgot about it.
My favorite scene that is so gross, but it's when the tree grabs her and she takes a razor blade and goes,
Oh,
like that.
Oh,
Remember
you're talking about Evil Dead.
yeah.
I haven't not seen that
Isn't
yet.
that what you just showed?
No, she's talking about
She's talking about Frailty, but
Sorry.
no.
You're talking about the movie.
So there is on YouTube, if you want to watch it, there's documentaries by Sam Raimi and the K&B Effects, The Gore the Merrier, about part 2.
Wow.
So Sam Raimi's brother played one of the Deadites in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was so hot out there, the suit actually filled with sweat that they actually had to drain the foot of it because so much sweat built up in it. It was not Ted Raimi. So he basically was tortured during the filming of this. He played the mother Henrietta that was locked in the basement.
Yeah.
And basically you get to see what effects guys do during their downtime where they're like fucking around and doing fucked up shit. Greg Nicotero from The Walking Dead was one of the guys in the effects group of it. They had to lock up their shop to keep the producers out of it.
Wow.
So they didn't fuck with their shit while they weren't around.
The creative ideas, yep. But here, getting back to Clive Barker. Sorry, I mean, to change the subject again. So getting back to Clive Barker, since it just rang a bell, we were talking about the movies. A lot of things that people don't realize is a lot of the stories, like example, Midnight Meat Train, excellent movie, but shitty ending because it didn't really do well with the actual book story. What was the story about?
Like Stephen King.
Right. Yeah. But the cool thing is that story and some of the Hellraiser and I think Books of Blood actually came out of a mini short story novel from Clive Barker called In the Flesh. Yes. And it was actually mini stories that were in that book. One of my first books I ever got of Clive Barker's, and it was that one. That's how I was introduced to him. And it's funny how all these stories have come out and made movies out of it from that book, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is cool.
So for me, Cabal, which became Nightbreed.
Yep. I love that.
Nightbreed was so imaginative.
You know what? The best part about that movie, and this is what I love. It's not the monsters. It's not the entities. It's not the world. Humans. What it is, the monsters in this movie are the humans. Us.
David Cronenberg is fucking frightening.
Oh, so it's like Walking Dead.
A little bit, yeah.
It's so sad. It's so sad. It's like
David Cronenberg puts on this mask like Cillian Murphy in Batman Returns. And it's called Button Face.
Yeah.
It has a zipper across the mask. It is so frightening. And David Cronenberg is so matter of fact as the killer.
Yeah.
He's the true villain of it. And it's amazing. And then Clive Barker has a book it's a fantasy book that never got turned over into a movie, which I think it could make a great series called Weave World.
Oh.
About these civilizations living in the weaves of fabric.
It was awesome. Awesome book. Love that book.
Also Lord of Illusions, if you haven't watched it, with Scott Bakula was really good.
I know.
Was that good? Okay.
It was. There was who was it? What the hell's the actress name who was in? She played Jean Grey in the original X-Men movie.
Oh, Famke Johnson.
Yes, she was in it. It's so good, and it's better than it should be.
Yep.
By the way, she was Xenia Onatopp in GoldenEye as well.
Thigh killer.
Dude, as a young boy, that was amazing.
It was. And again, like the thing I hate is when people are like, I hate horror, because horror can be so many different things.
Oh, so many different things.
So many different genres in that. There's
so many.
Oh my goodness. And that's the thing I love about horror too, is because it can be so creative. Clive Barker did a really creative way of doing it. And if you look at all of these book writers, Clive Barker, Stephen King, I still say Clive Barker is better, but
they're different flavors of the same Kool-Aid.
Never really. Okay, what did Gore say?
I need to watch that. It's been on my watch list on Amazon or whatever for a while, and I just
Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, thank you, Gore, because I was just gonna say, for me, psychological horror is my favorite stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy slashers. I enjoy, the mystery kind of macabre stuff too. But like, psychological stuff is always my favorite.
Makes you use this.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I had some people question me hard about why I have Zodiac on our horror list.
Dude.
Okay.
Pretty easy to explain.
They were like, well, that's not a horror movie. I was like, it is. It's real life fucking horror. Like, it happened.
Yeah.
That happened. That's history.
Yeah.
It actually happened.
It's like historical horror.
Yeah.
So it's presented as suspenseful. I get that. But you can have suspense and horror, but the shit was never really solved.
No. That's just like all of the Jack the Ripper movies that they've actually put out. That's something they never solved, and that was history.
Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve.
I love that.
Fucking magic.
My mom introduced me to that movie. It's so good.
10cc soundtrack. Also amazing.
That's a good point, Heather. So I saw a theory. I don't know if it's a fictional film or whatever, but I saw it online somewhere or another. That there's a theory that H.H. Holmes was actually Jack the Ripper, and they have some proof that they can back that up.
The American Jack the Ripper, which Devil in the White City. Yeah. Please read that book.
No. They're saying like it was actually Jack the Ripper that moved over to the States after.
That's what they said.
I don't think the time frame worked.
No.
I kind of am with you, but I was like intrigued by.
You want to hear the creepiest story that I know about Jack the Ripper that literally gives you the chills on your back?
Uh-oh.
A buddy of mine in the state over, I was living in Minnesota for a while, and I was working for this window manufacturer. And one of these it doesn't matter who he was, but just a buddy of mine, used to clean houses out, and he'd go and clean these old homes up in North Minneapolis. Some of these homes were super old. I mean, people were living there the whole life, and he had to go in there and clean out. Well, he cleaned out this one, and he found this big chest. And as he's going through it, there was these newspapers from the London Times. It was like yesterday. They were in perfect preservation. And he opens this thing up, and he put it in a plaque, put the London Times in the plaque. And I forget what the date was, if it was 1708, 1808, when Jack the Ripper was famous at that time.
I think it was the 1890s.
1890s, I think it was. But on the front page, he's got the whole front page in a plexiglass frame. It's got that classic black post in the center with a guy underneath it. But here's the creepy thing. When you're reading the story, the literature back then and the news back then was very graphic. When you read it, it told the whole story of what the police officers seen. The stuff that they edit now that you don't ever get the full picture. Everything's here's what we said. When I read it, it literally gave the chills on the back of your spine, because the creepy thing is they never found this person.
Right.
You know? I mean, he's probably long dead by now, but still, that's creepy.
Well, also, the H.H. Holmes stuff, just the fact that it was going on during the World's Fair in Chicago is just such a great backdrop.
You're telling me as a Chicago lover, dude. Yeah, Devil in the White City is perfect.
And it's like, even when you when people talk about like all the slasher films, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, what is Texas Chainsaw Massacre actually about? How many stories? Not one, like 4.
Oh, 4.
There's like 4 different stories in there. One of the 4 of that story of what the origination of it was, he actually lived up here in Wisconsin. It creeps me out.
Ed Gein.
Ed Gein. I watched the whole new documentary. That town where Ed Gein lived is like 60 miles from me. There's nothing Ed Gein related there. Even the old place where he used to live, house isn't there, but you can see all the stuff. My Jack the Ripper knowledge is limited to popular culture. I love it, Gore. Dude, you're right on point almost every time. That was a good movie too.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah. Even the Johnny Depp movie, I thought pretty decent.
But long story short, sorry. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get fascinated by historical stuff. I really do.
The show we're doing is about horror, and this is all popular horror. So, I mean, if you're with us still at this point, we're past Fallen.
Sorry, Dan.
But Dan, okay, so let's kind of bring it back a little bit. So you were raised Catholic, right? Obviously.
What's that?
Or maybe not. You were raised Catholic?
No.
Okay.
Episcopal, but my mom had the foresight of like, hey, you know what? Look up, kind of believe what you want to believe.
Sure. My parents were like that, sort of, a little bit once we got older, for sure.
But I will say, like, watching The Exorcist, as a kid, that fucked me up.
Dude, you know what fucked me about The Exorcist was Exorcist, I think it was it 3?
3?
In the Board?
Oh.
The one with the guy who played Chucky as the...
I don't know, but I'm going to tell you what scared me in that. One scene scared me in that. When you watch the cinematography in that movie, it's very quiet. And it does a lot of long shots. It's very, what's the bald guy's name? Heavy set English actor, director. It's on the tip of my tongue.
On mine too.
Come on, Gore. What's his name?
Gore. Save us, Gore.
Bald, heavy set. He's got that accent. Did a lot of Psycho. He did Psycho, the movie Psycho. Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hitchcock. There we go. Alfred Hitchcock. That's it. Very good.
Which, by the way, he's getting fucked in the ass because of that Blonde series going on right now.
Listen, I knew what the wife would say, the queen would say, and this is something that I am going to watch it all. It's 3 hours long. You have to realize something. All right. And I've got a lot of Marilyn Monroe memorabilia.
Oh, okay.
I do have a lot of it, but I also know that woman was taken advantage of big time.
Absolutely.
And people that think that that's not real of what was happening to her, it was real. She was taken advantage of big time. And if people don't realize that, give me a break, especially for the time when that was happening.
The woman who the Blonde is about she was the star of The Birds.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that series is about. And she was fucking tormented.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. Excuse me. All right. We got off subject a tiny bit. What were we talking about?
Israel Keys. Why does that sound familiar?
Israel Keys.
What was that?
One of the most.
I think I watched a documentary on that. Maybe thanks to Heather, probably.
Yeah, it's pathetic that they're glamorizing serial killers now.
Yeah,
he was a bank robber, burglar, arsonist, kidnapper, racist, and necrophile.
Wow!
What the from Utah?
What was this?
I vaguely remember a little bit.
Evidence left behind in his jail cell, including a suicide note, drawings of 11 skulls, a drawing of Baphomet, and an inscription of Corazal on the cell wall, written and otherwise stained with Keys' blood, led the FBI to suspect Keys murdered 11 victims in total.
Who is this?
I thought they speculated he might have murdered actually a lot more than that, but he only admitted
Israel Keys, born 1978, died 2012.
Wow.
There's a whole lot on this dude.
Anyway.
I've not heard about him until right now.
But, I mean, to be honest, in the 90s, I seem to remember a lot of books about serial killers, like, what's his face, The
Richard Ramirez,
Ted
the
Bundy,
Night Stalker.
Yeah, a bunch of shit. Like people were just into it. It seemed
Yep.
like. So now it's just like the streaming TV shows and stuff. But.
Oh, so how about let's go on a lighter note. I watched the first 15 minutes of it. Wow.
Oh yeah, okay, that guy. Oh yeah. I did watch the show on that. Jesus, you're so
I'll be
needy.
right back.
Get down. Clingy kitty.
Clean.
Anyway. Yeah, dude, Robert, I am looking forward to when you get to the discussion that John Goodman and Denzel have about it's philosophical and it's small. It's a small part in the movie, but it's just so good.
Yeah, that's
me and Robert talking right now for sure. So.
Goodman was excellent in it so far. Yeah. He's been very good in it.
Yeah, he's just so good.
Boy, this went totally off.
I love him in Arachnophobia. That's one of my personal
Arachnophobia.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of my spider. That is my irrational fear that I have is of spiders. And I always wondered where it came from. And my mom told me like maybe 10 years ago. She's like, well, when you were a baby, we did walk into the room once and there's this giant wolf spider hanging down from the ceiling right above your face. And I'm like, well, holy shit. That's probably why I have an irrational fear of spiders.
Maybe.
Arachnophobia was a great movie. It was on good. It was so funny.
So great.
Okay, we were on the discussion. What was it? Do you remember?
No, where did we go? I don't even remember. Dan, keep us on the train tracks. Where was it?
No,
we've been off the tracks for a while. It was talking about serial killers.
We're in Canada now. Hey.
No, it was
talking about John Goodman. Which again, John Goodman is one of those actors that I don't think people appreciate.
Underappreciated for sure.
I go back again, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yep.
One of the wildest movies that unfortunately they had to add something in with aliens at the end.
Yep.
Really being there that I don't think needed to be there. I think the paranoia of it was better than anything else that they could have done. I still need to watch Nope, which I know
it's definitely worth seeing for
sure. Excellent movie.
I disagree a little bit on the second half anyway, but it's worth watching, Dan.
Did you watch Nope?
I think Dan will like it.
Did you watch it? You watched it, Nope?
Me?
I haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it in theaters the day it opened. Yeah.
Oh, you did. So you don't think part of it is good and the rest is okay?
So I really enjoyed the first half. Okay. No, I'm just trying to explain because I have a very particular thing about it. But like the first half of it, I really loved. Like I was into it, and then the second half, I was like, I don't know. I mean, it was still good, and it's definitely. I did not tell anyone not to see it. I told everybody, like,
what I like is
for my taste, like the ending didn't quite land. But
okay, there's so many Easter eggs in that movie. It's amazing.
Oh hell yeah, for sure.
Oh my god,
I will watch it again.
I want to say it because I want Dan to watch it.
I do want to see it again. So
yeah,
it's not like I hated it. No way.
No, definitely watch it though.
On the subject of horror movies, what genre is your favorite, or do you have a favorite genre? For me, like because of Halloween, slashers will always kind of be in my wheelhouse. And I think it's because Halloween was so simplistic.
Heather knows me all too well. It's just like Hereditary. The second half just didn't land for me.
John Carpenter was basically told, hey, make a movie about babysitters on Halloween with a murderer.
Yep.
And he somehow turned it into an artistic movie, which I know people get pissed about it because it's slow moving. But I also compare it to Jaws, where I think the fact that you don't see the shark, because the shark didn't fucking work most of the movie, builds up to because the whole time it's like foreplay. He's in the background. You're kind of seeing him. You're not seeing him.
And the thing cool about Michael Myers, come on, you and I got the same love for Michael Myers.
Yeah. It's
you turn your eye, you turn your back, and you turn your eyes again, and there he is. And if you notice, if I'm not mistaken, I've had this argument many times. Have you ever? I think you see him lunge maybe twice, but you never see him run.
Nope.
Ever.
No.
Ever. Never run. Ever run. He's always right there. That makes him mysterious.
To be fair, you don't really see Jason run either.
You do later on.
Yeah, you do. He's chasing down.
Yeah, I've only seen the first one, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they're funny.
Okay, so technically the first two, because the first one was his mom. But
the scene that always stuck with me in Halloween was with the character Bob in the kitchen, where he runs the knife through him.
Yep.
And he's admiring his own work by twisting his head.
Yes, and he's looking at him like a kid
watching that. That stuff is like, that dude likes his work.
Yep.
Let the Right One In, the original.
I think Perry like that. I should probably check that out. There's two though, the original and then the remake.
Right? There's the original and then the other one with the girl who played Hit Girl.
Which I'm just gonna say I haven't seen the new Suspiria, but I imagine it's not as good as Dario Argento's original.
To be honest, I liked it more.
Okay.
It fleshed it out more. I'm not a huge Argento fan. Like,
blaspheme.
Vampire movies, I always have a soft spot for. Salem's Lot. There is a movie that I guess is getting remade by David Eggers or Robert Eggers, the one who did The Witch and Northman. He's doing Nosferatu.
What?
Yeah, I saw that.
Letting him remake that with not Stellan Skarsgård, the Skarsgård who played It in the It.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. They just announced
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's perfect casting, by the way. I think
really good job.
Perfect casting.
Perfect.
So I love the kind of mockumentary they did. Shadow of the Vampire, Willem Dafoe playing Nosferatu with Carrie Elwes.
I have that. I actually have posters of that.
Fucking great movie. Willem Dafoe is perfect.
Heather 100. I'm all about the anticipation and the what could happen stuff for sure.
Very much so. Poltergeist. That movie still to this day freaks me the fuck out. That
fucking
clown.
Fucking clown.
Holy shit.
Me and the Queen we were at an indoor flea market the other day, and we seen a clown exactly like that. We almost bought it just for the freakiness of it, but it was so creepy. I'm like, oh my god, Poltergeist right here. Last one.
Halloween. It's not going to end the franchise, but
it's going to end Jamie Lee Curtis's run.
Yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah.
I mean,
Mandy Mad Chick is being basically made to be the new queen of that franchise, and I really like her a lot. She's young, she's pretty, she's spunky. One thing I will say is that John Carpenter has been very vocal about how much he hates what happened in between, but he's very glad to take a paycheck.
Yep, of course.
I mean, come on.
Of course. Come on. Baby.
And John Carpenter is one of those directors where I feel his career and Kurt Russell's are so tied together and unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kurt Russell, so anybody who's watched Big Trouble in Little China, there is a commentary track that goes along with it where it's Kurt Russell and John Carpenter. I'm pretty sure both of them have been smoking weed.
Yep.
Because they are so super open, and Kurt Russell says something in it that is from such an honest place where he goes, it kills me that Captain Ron and Overboard made more money. And I'm well known for all those movies than they are for The Thing or Big Trouble in Little China or Escape from New York.
Right.
He's like, those two are my biggest earners, and they're probably because of my partner Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a girl I grew up with, her favorite movie, which she watched every day. I think she only missed like 4 days in her whole childhood. Overboard every day.
It was a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, it was all right, but I mean, I don't know if it was that worthy, but
you have Big Trouble in Little China, which Universal didn't know how to fucking put out.
No, of course
they put Kurt Russell front and center and as the hero, and he's actually the sidekick.
Yeah, he is for real.
Yep.
And Escape from New York, it is what it is. It's a low movie with a despicable anti-hero.
Yep.
And the thing bombed. The thing bombed so hard in the theaters, and PETA went after them. PETA went after them. John Carpenter he thought his career was over after that movie, and he had to do Starman, a love story, because
my mom loves Starman.
Starman was a great movie.
I'm sorry,
I got to go back and revisit it. I think I really like it too.
I like Starman too. Sorry.
No, Jeff Bridges is amazing in that movie.
He is amazing in that. Yeah,
it was an excellent movie.
But he did that as an apology for The Thing, which had some of the, outside of American Werewolf in London, some of the best practical effects of any movie I've ever watched.
Who did the score to Starman? I'm gonna look that up. I think it was John Barry, but I could be wrong.
It could be. I know Ennio Morricone, who did the spaghetti westerns, did The Things.
Yeah, I mean Ennio Morricone, unbelievable.
And The Thing is one of those movies where the builds and the ending, I don't care what anybody says.
Jack Nietzsche. I've never heard of that guy.
I had a girl I dated who hated the end of The Thing, but loved the end of Inception. It basically ended our relationship.
See that?
Like, it just, she's like, well, I get the end of that. I was like, no, the end is the same. It's ambiguous. You make up your own ending.
You know what, though? Carpenter was kind of a guy that was ahead of his time. I'm not gonna lie. With They Live, I mean, holy shit, that commentary on, you can apply that to
what it was about. It's so real to today. It still lives up to today's standards.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You look at what the story is about. It's amazing.
Yep, absolutely.
And also, this is a guy who wanted to do nothing but make westerns. And if you look at Assault on Precinct 13, it's basically Rio Bravo.
Yeah.
And it always bothered me because this dude wanted so badly to just be he wanted to make westerns to no end. And then he kind of got shoved into horror, but he was like, listen, the two hardest things to ever make are comedies and horror.
Directed by Taika Waititi. I will split with you on that one, Gore. I am not down for that.
I can see a story.
I can see Emma Watson.
A love child with nurse.
I go on PT. I am not down with
He's
him.
just being funny. He's being funny.
I know. I think he's being flippant, but I'm
joking. That's really great the way he did that, though. It's telling you right there. I'm sorry.
So What We Do in the Shadows is a great series. It's a great movie.
I've heard that.
I don't want to see Halloween become a comedy.
No, neither do I. Neither do I.
So there was a script that was made by. There was a script before Halloween 2018 came out that was done by the guys who made the Collector series.
Oh, I love the Collector series. Oh my God, that is such an awesome movie. I've told people about that and they're like, what?
The Collection had the best ending of any movie I've ever seen.
You know,
the psychology, the psychological thing of that movie. I mean, if nobody's seen the first Collector, here's a quick synopsis.
Never seen it.
Shows a guy putting a security system in this family's home. Okay, real quick.
Wait, so Christopher Nolan and Jonathan Nolan, is that what we're talking about? I mean, I might be down with that. I'm down with
that. This is one of my favorite. When I first started this channel, I did a 2-part review on the Collector and the Collection. Dude, this movie got gang fucked because of Saw.
Yeah, I know.
I love Saw.
And it's not the same movie.
The first 2 Saws.
That's all I care about is the first 2. The rest of them suck as far as
the third one.
All they're doing is doing it for shock and awe factors. How the next person's going to die.
Oh, that's
What?
The Collector with Terrence Stamp?
No, this is a whole different movie.
Oh, okay.
This
I think I've actually
movie,
seen that.
this had an anti-hero where he actually was there to rob the family and becomes the
Yeah.
hero.
That's what I'm gonna get kind of.
I love my anti-heroes. Wolverine, freaking.
So this guy's a thief. This guy's a thief, and he's putting a security system in this house. Knows where the safe is, and he's setting it up so he can come back. This family is going to go on vacation on that weekend, so he can come back the weekend and rob the place. Okay, comes back really.
John chiming in.
Time is good.
So the guy comes back late at night, goes up there, knows all the weaknesses of the security, knows how to get in because he put in the security system, right? As he's walking to the front door, there's like a slight fog on the ground, and you see this chain, and it's a German Shepherd, and he's like, "Boom!" and it almost rips his throat out. It's like, what? And he gets into the house. So he gets in the house, opens the house, shuts the door behind him, and all of a sudden, before you know it, I'm just going to make this quick. You have to watch the movie to find out the rest. Looks behind him. There's like 20 padlocks on the inside of the door.
What?
Watch the movie.
Dude, I gotta watch
Really
that.
because from room to room, it's trap after trap, and this is a guy who's
Movie
a
trap
master thief.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
It's so good.
Because this is coming from a guy that loved the score, sneakers, like all that type of stuff. So, dude, I think I'm gonna like that.
There is a scene that bothered me a lot where it was this super glue with a cat.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it bothered me a lot as a person who owns a cat. But by the time you get to the second movie, the collection has the best ending of any fucking movie I've ever seen. It is so rewarding after going through the first movie.
The torture.
It was fucking beautiful. And again, this anti-hero we're covering over 2 movies, who was in The Punisher season 2 as John Pilgrim.
Oh.
It's a fucking masterclass.
You know what? If I can make it through the puppy and John Wick, I think I can probably make it through this. So.
It's different levels
that was rough.
So anyway, these guys who made this movie were given the ability to make the Halloween reboot called Halloween Returns.
Yep.
Where they're going to have it take place in another fucking town of Smith, I can't remember the name of the neighboring town. They mentioned
Already I hate it. It's got to be Haddonfield.
But no. It has. I read the script because they leaked it online. I think John Carpenter read the script and was like, I might want to be involved again.
Dude,
there's so much. I think that led to this other one being made. The after credit scene of this movie had Gary Oldman coming in as fucking Dr. Loomis.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what?
It had an after credit scene.
I could see that for sure.
This doctor who was the main person in this movie called Halloween Returns.
Oh man, I would be totally down for that.
It was a person walking in with a trench coat saying, "I told you he's not a man."
Dude, Commissioner Gordon
going
was
through
like
the whole thing, and they said we turned to see it's Gary Oldman as Dr. Loomis.
God dang it!
And I can't imagine Gary fucking Oldman playing Dr. Loomis.
That'd be great.
That's interesting.
Which he's like, I thought Malcolm McDowell was good.
Yeah.
But Gary Oldman,
that's
the Nolan movies playing this?
That's interesting.
And at the end of the movie, Michael escapes.
Of course.
And he writes basically on the wall, everyone's going to die. So it becomes not about family anymore. They get rid of all of that shit.
That seems kind of hyperbolic.
He wants to take vengeance against the whole town. But Gary Oldman in that role.
Interesting.
I'm fascinated by it because, again, Gary Oldman.
I could see
Leon the Professional is probably maybe the most unhinged role I've ever seen him in.
Right.
Dude, amazing.
And seeing him somewhere in an in-between role, because I mean, Leon the Professional, do you like Mozart? That neck crack.
Was that your neck?
I was just doing like.
Oh, I was like, what?
Gary
put
Oldman
something in there.
Gary
Hey,
Oldman's
the
another.
original ending. Hold on. Heather's on some shit right now.
Yeah, Heather's on some stuff right now. Put her up.
What is going on?
I think they changed the original ending.
Yeah, John's got a point. There's no track here, Heather. It's just kind of like a bunch of tracks, and then you just kind of hop onto tracks as you feel.
That's like John's been on my show
Minute
before.
one. I mean, I don't know. That's a little
I'm
extreme.
sorry, John.
Maybe minute.
Sorry, John.
Wait, okay.
The
So,
Descent. When I finally saw that after John Schnepp recommended it.
The Descent
Yeah,
is a movie that made me feel creeped out watching it.
Yeah.
it was a good movie.
When you feel just the whole everything around you closing in on you,
Yeah.
the movie's doing a great job.
Yeah.
There
It's
is.
all about atmosphere, man. I tell you, at least for me, anyway.
They directed Game of Thrones a couple episodes too. The director of that.
Makes sense.
Also, there is a werewolf movie made by the director called Dog Soldiers
I seen
about
that.
British SAS soldiers that go out into the wild and they end up in a house full of werewolves,
Really?
which is incredible.
Huh.
There's a lot
I
of
won't even-
franchise about
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry.
Gore right there, bringing the heat. That's totally true. 100.
I'm sorry, I'll be honest. I wasn't a huge fan. Fast and Furious was over the top ridiculousness.
It's all. So you're not about family, G-Man. Come on.
I'm about family, but not about come on, man. Let's be real.
It's all about family.
It became low rent.
Car blast off over a mountain and a helicopter's picking it up. The most ridiculous thing on the planet. It was almost watching like James Bond on steroids.
Well, they're actually going to be in space, right? So
It became low rent Ocean's 11. Sponsored by Axe Body Spray. Now,
I mean, that's kind of an insult to Tony Stark, but I mean, we'll take it, I guess.
I'm a huge Jason Statham fan.
So am I.
I
Italian Job. You gotta watch the remake of the Italian Job.
I love Snatch. I love The Transporter.
That sounds familiar.
I also love the Crank movies.
Wow.
I don't know. Crank I did not like, but I did like Transporter for sure.
Transporter is entertaining, but Crank is.
You're not missing much, Heather.
Heather, you gotta watch number one, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
The fourth one was
The first
the fourth
one-
one became Ocean's 11.
It's more realistic. But
I
the
was
rest
working in the theater when that came out, and I went in when I used to. Dude, I used to go to watch the
I
end.
live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit from you.
Brian Earl Spillner sounds like a serial killer.
Transport. Yeah, it was
Sort of
sexy.
sexy.
He's a sexy man.
Yeah, Transporter was, yeah.
I had to see the Meg when I saw the trailer of Jason Statham go, I'm a marine biologist. I'm like, well, fuck, I got to see this movie now.
I can't.
It's already stupid.
I can't. Did you like it? Was it good?
It was fucking stupid. I loved it.
My friend,
I watched
he's a big,
Sharknado.
so my friend is a big shark guy, and actually he wrote Nosferatu and the Pteranodon, or something. I don't know. He's been interviewed by actual Dracula, Mark Von Ahman, but he did a comic book series about vampires and sharks. It's kind of cool. But anyway, like,
Is it a love story?
I don't know, because honestly, I never finished it, and also he didn't send me the last few books. But we won't go into that.
Let's do a perfect example. Okay, remember how I was talking about Lord of the Rings earlier and talking about the different time in history? Perfect example of this. Let's think about it for a moment. Let's look at how long the legend of Vlad the Impaler's been around. Okay?
Jesus.
Dracula in itself, how many times it's changed. What was Dracula in the very beginning? He was not this nice, romantic, lovemaking, sexy star.
No, he was a murderous fucking.
Oh, dude. He had two people's heads on spikes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean,
Literally.
that's the reality of it. And he's transformed so much over the centuries that's been going on now. The story's changed so much. Bram Stoker
1200?
made it romantic.
I don't remember. 1200, 1700? I can't remember.
It's
17. I think it's like
17 something. Okay.
Yep.
so I'm gonna take a minute to kind of put
Back on track.
No, put a spotlight onto a friend of the channel. Mr. Rodney Barnes, the writer of Philadelphia, has a reimagining of Blackula coming out with him and Jason Sean Alexander, where they're making him a sympathetic character and getting rid of the blaxploitation vibe of him. It's going to be an OGN. It's going to be the first release from Rodney's imprint, Zombie Love LLC.
Interesting.
Jennifer and I are having him on in November to talk about Philadelphia Volume 4, and we're hoping to get Jason Sean Alexander on with us.
I'm laughing at Heather's comments.
So, Heather, I know this might be your first time watching. This is
no, it's like she's doing this for a couple of times, but not for this long. This is the longest I think she's been in the chat.
So this is also kind of the fact that like we have Robert on with us, who not on with us very often on this show, and we're talking about horror. And I'm not gonna lie,
we were supposed to talk about the movie. We've talked.
Okay, so we're not all like studious king teachers like John, so we don't keep to a strict schedule. But,
to be honest, John's been on and we've gone way off subject too.
Yeah, that's true. But I think mostly that was Fire Guy Ryan that kind of got us off more than John.
Fire Guy. Talking about the Blackula, get back to that. Sorry.
So Rodney's thing is, his take on it is Blackula's a sympathetic, tragic character.
Okay.
So he wants to bring it to that. Jason Sean Alexander, for people who have read Spawn in the past, he is an amazing artist, which I would say is, if Bill Sienkiewicz and now I'm forgetting the name of the artist's name. It's Ashley something. If they had a love child, that would be Jason Sean Alexander, which Bill Sienkiewicz alone, with that dark art. I'm hoping to get Jason Sean Alexander on with us when we have Rodney on, but you never know. But Rodney's become weirdly a friend of the show. And if you're not reading Philadelphia, please, Ashley Wood, yes. Please get on Philadelphia and also Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog.
Oh, excellent.
So Rodney, when he comes on, we usually get into current events and philosophical things.
I like that.
Definitely G-Man was in our chat last time listening to Rodney wax poetic about everything and doing one of the most ridiculous unboxings of shit he randomly bought from his comic store, where John was like, well, that's the third Green Hulk. That's the third. He's one of my favorite people. He's a huge horror fan as well, so it's gonna work out. Also, Jen's birthday is in November, so it'll probably work into that.
Wait, Jen, who again? Please promote, please. What's her social medias?
Comic Books Will Break Your Heart on Instagram, or Comics Will Break Your Heart on YouTube, where she does a show with Mars. Yes, Casual Sundays. Which Jen basically took the format that we did on our weekly show when we were together, and her and Mars have added a whole new take on what we were doing. Mars is very in tune with the manga community, which I like manga, but I'm not into that level that she is. So I love the fact that I was able to help them grow into this other monster. I'm not at my channel isn't gonna ever hit their numbers, and I'm okay with that. I like doing what I do.
Sometimes it's not all about numbers, you know.
Well, I get the weird thing. Well, are you jealous that they are over 1,000K? I don't.
Why should you be?
So my thing is, I want to help promote people and get them. Jen, at the time when she first joined the channel, she wasn't doing anything. She was doing Instagram, but she wasn't on any channels. And she finally got to a point where she was comfortable doing her own thing. And
Yeah, man.
I love that she grew and did her own thing because, to be honest, at a point I felt I was holding her back.
Yeah.
And she was doing 3 shows at one point,
Yeah,
and that was
I
too
remember that.
many.
Yep.
And I was having health issues, so it was time for me to cancel the weekly show. I just felt I needed to address that because it comes up a lot. I love that Jen is doing her own thing. She grew, and I am happy to help anyone grow.
You know, I'm gonna say it right here, right now.
Well said.
You're gonna help me grow because me and Robert are gonna have a philosophical channel for sure. We're gonna talk.
So there's nothing more I want to do, especially with female voices, because my mother was a comic book fan
And horror fan.
and a horror
movie
fan.
fan, yeah.
So
Thank you, Heather.
I want to have different voices on this show, on this channel.
Come on, man.
Come on, John.
Yeah, she's totally seen this show before. She knows.
Anyway,
Pretty sure
continue.
she checked out a lot earlier last time, though.
So, okay, we're fucking horrible people on this show.
No, we're not.
So
Consciousness. Listen to him.
That is very deep, John. Let's talk about how deep that.
There's many authors I used to read that were stream of consciousness.
I've seen some of your streams of consciousness with Old Wolf. Oh boy.
I can vouch for that one. Yep.
Streams of liquor. This is a train wreck.
Or unconsciousness.
Cheers.
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 Oh,
man.
my goodness. At least we're having a decent conversation.
Okay, so I'm going on a rant because I've had people ask about how I feel about Jen doing her show with Mars. I'm grateful that Mars has credited me for helping them kind of get a framework.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm pretty sure
I will never not support them.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, Dan, that if they ever did a show and you wanted to be on it, they'd have you on with them.
Yeah, my schedule sucks. I was having health issues. That's something that happened. So, so Gore, it wasn't. Every now and again, it comes up.
I'll be honest. I'm surprised John's lasted this long. I think it's because Robert's here. I'm pretty sure.
I just wanted to touch on it because, again, Mars has been on the show before, and Jen has been such an important person in my life. I will never not support her.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
but
that's
it was
a true
time
right there, man.
It was time for her to move on, and it was time for me to get my life in order.
Thank you, John.
Not the C spot, but definitely the G spot.
Yeah.
Why am I picking now to have this discussion? I don't know, but it comes up now and again, and I weirdly have a lot of people in the community that hate me.
Dan,
I totally don't get that. It's so weird.
Dan, you're doing too much of this, and I keep telling you, stop thinking in there.
No, it's only 3 people.
Yeah, you know what? Does it matter? No, you're still doing what you love right here, and I'm supporting. No. If I didn't like you and I didn't like you guys at all, I wouldn't support you for what I've been doing. That's why I'm here. I love you, Dan. I like what you do.
I will always call out bullshit when I see it.
Yeah.
I'm never not going to.
No.
But also, I'm also willing to have adult communications with everyone about what's going on. So my guy Morbius, which if anybody's not following Morbius comics, he does something called well, I'm an asshole now because I forgot what he calls it. But basically, it's topics in the community, and they talk about it. And he's basically an anti-CGC guy. He's all about Raws.
Yeah, of course.
So him and his guy back-to-back issues, Paul, will have conversations about things going on in the community. I was on a show when No Good Comics and him were doing the show.
Yep.
And it was about new readers versus old readers.
Yeah.
And I talked about a conversation I had. I was hating the Batman series by Tom King.
Right.
And
What?
Bearded Comic Bro said, hey, this is the series that got me back into reading Batman.
Right.
And weirdly, it had that thing with me, you know, like I'm a jaded older reader and almost like a drug addict where I'm always chasing that first high.
Sure.
Where that to him was his entrance back. So like every book could be someone's first book.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who am I to shit on that? I cannot like it, but be political about saying, you know what, it's not for me.
Yeah.
I
That's
need
what
to
I
step
adopted.
away.
Not
Yeah.
for me.
But it's hard for some people to have that ability.
Conversation.
Yeah.
It's hard for
But-
some people to have that conversation. And then if they don't like what you say, that's what I keep saying. Be yourself, Dan, like you are. You keep being yourself and don't change for anybody except yourself. If someone gives constructive criticism, I'm talking to you, John. Look for constructive criticism. Take it as a friend telling you something that's truthful. Or, you know what I'm saying? That
Beard
makes
and
sense.
I just had one of those like Instagram messenger
Sure.
chats, which
Sure.
you and I have had
Yeah.
occasionally.
I have to talk in mine so you can understand my text. My text is all jibble jabble.
Dude, I feel bad. I still haven't listened to that message you left me. I need to listen to that.
What?
Robert, I don't know. You left me a message on Instagram,
Yeah, I did.
like a voice message, and I'm just really bad about saying
Okay,
stuff.
it's okay.
Well, usually I'm on a forklift at work and I'm like,
You can't
Yeah,
hear
thank
me.
you.
like
When you say you're at work, then I realize, oh shit, he needs me to text. He can't hear me.
but I think that part of it is everybody's trying to kind of fit into a conceived construct of YouTube where your friend Burke used to give me advice of what I should do. And I immediately pushed against it
Don't
because
listen to Burke. You don't know.
well, no, it was just it's not me.
I
Like,
get it. No,
I'm a reader. I'm not a flipper.
he comes from a good place, but yeah, I know what you're saying for sure.
Sure, of course.
I love Burke to death. Like,
John, I love busting your balls. That's all there is to it.
so John and I
true.
had a
And
great talk.
Bear Island messaged me and said, "Wow, you sound great on this show." What happened? And I was like, "Oh, well, John sent me his microphone." He's like, "Oh, excellent." Because Bear Island was bitching about one of our shows where I think I was on my phone. He's like, "Go, it sound like crap." I'm like, "Thanks, man."
So John's one of the people I talked with after that whole thing going on with the whole conspiracy theory with the Black Flag comics with that acetate cover.
God.
We're like, you know what? Let's talk about
Mr. Stereo Girl, yeah.
Well, it became, let's talk about the comics we love, like what we like reading. So
Yep.
I made a tag that next week and we started trending about what we love to read, what we talk about, because I think that's what gets lost. Why we became comic fans.
Yeah.
And I get some people are there for the money. Like
Of course,
it's there.
Of course. That's all they care about.
So as a kid, I grew up loving the stories. Like I didn't understand what the fuck was going on in most of this shit because like X-Men, I entered in 1985, 86, and there was a lot of shit already going on.
Yeah.
But I played catch up. There was Marvel Saga, which you could read the whole Marvel universe in 12 issues. And as I said, it's almost like a drug addict. You're chasing that high of the first time you read. And at times I wish I was just a collector, but I want something that makes my head move.
Yep.
I absolutely understand what you're saying. Of course. You think about
And
it.
I think that's what Philadelphia does to me because
It does.
it's historical.
Yes.
It's talking from points of like historical characters.
I need to check that out. Really.
So John Adams at one point is watching himself be insulted during the Hamilton play, and he's just completely pissed off about it.
Right.
And Rodney Barnes has seen it 15 times live. He's a huge fan of it. And a lot of it is talking from a place of, well, I can fix this, but really they can't because they're stuck in their old ways.
Right.
And there's a part of it, the hubris I love, like Thomas Jefferson in the third volume comes back.
Yep.
He's a vampire.
Yep.
He's basically the vampire Lestat.
Yeah.
And Rodney fully claims he stole from Anne Rice a little bit. He stole from The Last Man on Earth.
I wouldn't say stole. I would say
homaged.
But this is also what I keep saying about new creators. Where do they get their ideas from? Inspiration from other writers, other stories, other books, and history.
Oh, at this point, yeah, I heard someone say, I don't. It was recently though. Like at this point, like there's nothing that's wholly wholly original.
You're right.
It's all you. Even if it's the tiniest thing, there's something that has impacted someone, an artist or whatever, that has an influence. It's not at this point in human history. It's just there's so much stuff out there. That,
sure.
So there's a movie that was based off a comic book that I think reinvigorated the vampire genre, 30 Days of Night, because it was such a simplistic fucking idea that no one thought of.
I was so shocked when I first heard of and read and saw that like movie. Man, I can't believe someone didn't do this sooner. It's just fucking brilliant. It really is. And me and Drac have had many discussions about vampire movies. 30 Days a Night was one of the first ones we talked about because I think I had only seen that a little bit after it came out.
Sure.
But definitely I've rewatched it a couple times since. Every fall pretty much I usually rewatch it. So good. So good. And by the way, Manu Bennett is in that, who played Deathstroke on CW. So I love him as an actor in Spartacus, that TV show that was on Star.
Spartacus was awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
I fucking love that show.
Talk about In the Raw. That was an excellent show.
Oh, Lucy Lawless, fucking queen.
Yeah. The acting, everything. Even like at first I thought the CG was kind of cheesy, but it grew on me. Like because the story was so good and the acting was so good.
Lucy Lawless's husband in that show was like, oh, Jupiter's cock and all that shit always made me laugh.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of queens, how is yours doing, Robert?
Yeah,
you're in.
She's doing much better today. She's in her castle upstairs.
Good.
She actually got it down today. She was actually able to keep it down today. So yeah, she's doing much better today. So she's coming back. Yeah, it's just like when she gets a cold though, it's bad. Yeah, it's terrible. It's really hard on her because her immune system's pretty weak because of her heart's problems. So, but other than that, she's doing well now.
Oh, so Carlito, I sent Robert the trailer for Psycho Gorman, and he was very intrigued.
I was laughing.
Are you intrigued? Are you gonna watch it?
I actually sent that out to a bunch of my buddies down today. Dude. Laughing, yes.
Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, no, I gotta watch it. I want to watch it.
I was like kind of halfway, but then Dan's like, "You gotta watch it." I'm like, "Okay." And dude, I love it.
So much fun. It looks like a really innocent movie, but it looks fun.
It's kind of like Dan says, a dark Power Rangers a little bit.
It reminded me of Toxic Avenger in a way.
A little bit,
Very similar to Toxic Avenger. It also reminded me of, there was a role-playing game that was like that too. It was a movie. It was actually a movie that they made like that. But yeah, it looks very funny. Talking about humor, I'm glad you got on that subject. I watched the first 10 minutes. All right. I'm not going to give judgment until I've watched the whole thing, but you have to realize different time frame. It's hard to do skit comedy from an old black and white show, TV show that used to be out there, and redo it in color into a modern time. The new Munsters is out.
Oh, I've heard a lot about that.
It's
I've
on
heard
Netflix.
a lot of weird stuff.
It's on Netflix. You know what I dug? The first 10 minutes of it made me laugh. It actually made me giggle inside because I could see the innocence of it, but I could also see the humor and I can see where they're going with it. But like the first 10 minutes, my favorite shows Lily going on her first, she's going on a date. She's not married yet in this, apparently. She's going on her first date. And who's she going to meet? The Nosferatu, the actual bald Nosferatu. And it's hilarious when they're eating dinner. It's funny. That was funny. It made me laugh.
That is funny.
But you cannot take this show seriously because I'm sure that's Rob Zombie was trying to do.
He's a huge fanboy of the series, which
he is.
Made me kind of nervous because.
But see, here's the thing: you have to think of it this way, and this is where I'm giving him a little credit, maybe just a little bit of credit. A lot of people are crapping all over it and say, if you like the original, stay with the original. Well, of course, the original is always going to be better, but this is a different time, and he's trying to do something new with the series. I give him a little credit for that, and I give him a little credit for this. The slapstick humor in it is kind of cheesy, tongue in cheek, but it's watchable. You know what I'm saying? I could sit down probably with my grandsons and watch it.
I've made no bones. I'm not a fan of this Halloween remix, but this sounds different.
I am the fan. I have to be honest. The first one that Rob Zombie did was excellent.
The second one, not so much.
No, the second one, it went totally off deep end.
Yeah, I didn't like either of them.
I like the psychological part of Michael Myers. It stood true to him. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger in this movie, but still, if you think about it, that's what he did good.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
He did really good with that. And look at the famous one of the famous guys are in it. The janitor. What was his name? What's his actor's name? Danny Trejo is in it.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh my god! It's like, wow. But
the first one I came around on. The second one, I was like, this isn't redeemable.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, and I give you that. There's no way.
Unpopular opinion. I still think Danny Trejo's best role was in Heat, even though it was very small.
Oh, I remember that, dude. That was excellent.
Yeah, it was a small role, but good God, that scene with him and De Niro at the end of his run.
Well, I would even say like Danny Trejo and Predators. Predators, probably my top 3 of the Predator movies.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad.
So Robert, you haven't had Hulu. You will enjoy Prey.
Oh yeah. Did you watch it?
No.
Oh,
I have not seen it.
I think Robert will enjoy that for sure.
I've heard so many good things about it, but I heard that there's some like inconsistencies with it. Like apparently there's like an inconsistency, and I guess people are getting really anal about it, about the musket or the gun the Predator's using.
I literally didn't give 2 fucks about it.
It's kind of something you can just overpass.
Yes and no, like but come on, it's a freaking movie.
Yeah, of course.
The main thing for me that before seeing it was the language.
Yep.
I was hoping it would be in Comanche. It wasn't, and I was like, well,
you get the choice though. You can turn it to.
Yeah, you can't. Okay, so but I couldn't get past they don't talk like this. But once you kind of get over that, it's a great film. So.
Right.
So watching it immediately, I was like, I need this actress playing X-23.
Nice.
I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
She, especially with now this Deadpool announcement.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that has been the biggest thing for me since freaking Infinity War, man.
It made sense though because honestly, he's good friends with Ryan.
So.
They've been messing around with this online for years. So
2 years of ads and promotion for this is just gonna be amazing.
Oh, it's gonna be unbelievable.
I love those two. The dynamic of those two.
I saw the director of Logan going, "Look."
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw the follow-up tweets too. Yeah. That's why they did the follow-up video too. They were like, "So this is not gonna have anything to impact on Logan. That is 2029. This
It's
is
an alternate
before
reality. He's been time jumping.
whole different reality, not going to affect that, which is great. I love that. And then they go, what song did they play over when they're like doing the explainer? They like played a song over it so you couldn't really tell what they're saying.
I don't remember now.
It was fun.
So this to me is like the crossing of the streams.
What the hell did I do, Gore?
my
I mean, it's not like I post any content anyway. So
my favorite movie of stupidity is Shoot 'Em Up.
Dude, I'm in love with Monica Bellucci, so I mean, yeah, I get it, man.
It's Clive Owen and Paul Giamatti basically doing Elmer Fudd versus Bugs Bunny.
Yep.
Clive Owen is Bugs Bunny. He's eating carrots constantly. They're trying to kill each other. It's such a stupid movie, but Paul Giamatti is playing so silly.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm a sucker for a bad action movie. And this 100% fills that need.
Right.
There is a birth scene where Clive Owen is in a gunfight and delivers a baby.
Yes.
Cuts the umbilical cord with the fucking gun.
Thanks for the support, John. Jesus. That's where I'm the black sheep of the YouTube community. I really am.
Come on.
It's all good. You know, whatever. But
John's the king of the hashtag now. You got to leave him alone.
John has the power. John has the power to cancel me, so I better watch it.
Which, honestly, I do love the engagement in the community with some of this stuff. Even though one of the people he's teamed up with on Saturdays is one of the people who's been shit-talking me.
Uh-oh.
Bearded? Yeah. Huh?
Bearded?
One collection down. He's one of the people who's been shit-talking me. Yes. Oh, God, Marion Cotillard.
I love her. That's nice. So well, I mean, I'm sure Robert knows. I don't know about Dan, but I'm a huge fan of Public Enemies.
Oh,
but I'm a big John Dillinger fan, like history buff. So
sure.
But Marion Cotillard in that, oh my God, she's amazing. But
so Carlito, are we gonna just dovetail this right into Robert's show?
Why not? I mean, come on, man. What,
you gonna make it?
Promote Robert's. Yeah,
we're almost at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's almost 11
it's
o'clock.
Only 11, almost 11 Central Time.
I have to get off in a half hour,
good.
So
good.
I have to go meet my guests in there. If you guys,
who are your guests this week?
Yeah, who is the guest? Like, is it an open show or is it guests or what's going on?
No, we have a guest this week. We have Sands Comics and Collectibles. Sands Grouping Collectibles. Sands does a lot of he'll do once in a while he does some live shows with guests and he oh my God, that movie was hilarious. I have to admit, it was so ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but Gore's comment
stick in my brain. There's two scenes in that whole movie that stick in my brain.
Jesus?
One,
the Jesus
in the trailer park with the woman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then the second part was when he comes back and he's with the, who are they? The Mormons? Not the Mormons. Who are they? Working on the farm. Who are they?
Not Amish. Is it Mennonites?
Amish. He's with the Amish, I think.
Amish? Okay.
Comes back in his hat, big old bucket slapping back watching the house. He goes, I milked all the cows. He's got freaking milk mustache from here to here, and they all look at him like, what cows?
Woody Harrelson had a career in comedy that was
Randy Quaid is just crazy, John.
Oh my God, that movie. I
gotta say,
yeah, John, that's right.
Sorry, I can't leave this show without wondering why Gore unsubscribed me. I'm kind of mad about that.
Oh my God!
I would love to have Gore on, but I don't.
Dude, oh God, yeah,
that would be awesome. No, you know what gets me about Gore? I've known Gore for a long time now in the chats.
The knowledge, man.
The knowledge that he brings up is great. He knows his facts. He knows his shit.
Real.
Big hand.
Oh, so
And
anyway,
you too,
Okay.
John.
Unrelated. So I know we stay on track on the show, but unrelated.
We really went off track.
My dad and my mom asked when I went over, because they know I love movies and stuff, but they're like top 3 actresses all time.
Oh.
So I want to hear your two choices.
Say again.
Top 3 actresses of all time.
Oh.
Or actors, or but
Maybe
female actors.
If straight actresses?
Yeah. Deadpool. You don't like Deadpool? What?
Fuck, mine are mostly aging.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's just
Favorite actress. I'll give you one.
quintessential top 3 actresses.
She played in Red. She played the assassin, the sniper rifle. What's her name?
I know.
Judi Dench.
No.
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren. Love Helen Mirren.
Excalibur when she was younger. Fucking
Yes.
Dude, Helen Mirren.
She was on my list.
Dame Helen Mirren. Come on.
Helen Mirren. Exactly.
Jesus. Yeah.
Beautiful woman.
Oh,
Okay.
amazing.
Also, another classic. This is classic as well. She was, I think, French, and it's another female. Catherine Deneuve was another one. It's another one of my favorites.
Gore, chime in on the chat, please.
Helen Mirren, there she is. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, number 3. Number 3, G-Man. What's up, number 3? Number 3.
Well, the thing is, unless you can read old Italian, it's always going to be hands down for me. Is going to be I'm brain farting. I just brain farted. It was Sophia Loren.
Yes. Nice.
Sorry, I'm a classic. I love Sophia
Oh,
Loren.
yeah, love it.
Her class. I mean, yeah, but it's like.
Oh, dude.
Okay, I guess what I just did there, I didn't do acting. It was basically beautiful women.
No, it's kind of. I mean,
Yeah, kind of, but they're still good actresses.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think I got mine.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, let's hear it.
Okay, so Excalibur, Helen Mirren as Morgana.
Morgana was awesome.
Was a fucking awakening as a younger man.
Yep, beautiful.
Olivia Hussey.
Ooh, interesting.
Elizabeth, what?
Black Christmas, and also from Romeo and Juliet, the TV movie, which I had to watch in school, where she got fucking flat out butt naked.
Yep.
Which, as a younger man, was
not gonna lie. Yeah, as a younger man,
it was a tough choice between her and Jenny Agutter.
Estrogen
from American Werewolf in London and
Angela Lansbury.
Logan's Run.
Oh,
sorry, Angela Lansbury was cool before my time.
You're talking about that woman. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, she's very. That was a very pretty lady. She's English, isn't she?
Yes.
Ooh,
I think she's English.
Yeah, she's very English. And
as usual, Gore has exquisite taste.
Wow, that's really good, Dan. I give it
and
to you.
And then my third one.
What was the first one?
It was Helen Mirren from
Okay.
Excalibur.
Okay, second one was.
It was
Juliette Blanchett.
No, Olivia Hussey.
Olivia, why? Okay, why is that name? Okay,
so
go on.
She's the one who I just said was from those two movies, from Black Christmas and
Logan's Run.
Romeo and Juliet. Jenny Agutter was from Logan's Run.
Okay,
it was a toss up between those two.
Gotcha,
My third is Eva Green.
Ooh.
Oh yes,
nice.
Hands down, 100%.
So Casino Royale, my favorite Bond movie, and she made that movie.
Okay, all right.
And The Dreamers.
I'm going to tell you my favorite that woman's done. Absolute favorite. Excuse me.
Dude, I'm like on the edge here, Robert. Come on.
I could easily say like Jennifer Connelly also.
It was a Showtime
Oh,
show.
Jennifer Connelly.
It was a Showtime show. Penny Dreadful.
Penny Dreadful.
Penny
Oh,
Dreadful, the series. Mwah! Beautiful. She did excellent in that show. Excellent.
ooh, Bortolucci. I liked him.
Oh,
So for me, which nobody cares, but number one, Marilyn, probably Monroe. Two,
Okay.
Audrey Hepburn. Three, Monica Bellucci.
ooh, awesome. Excellent choices. See?
Granted,
Really?
Monica hasn't done that great of movies compared to
Yeah.
obviously the ones y'all mentioned, but I've just been in love with her since I can remember. So
Sure.
Well, Jennifer Connelly, I mean, if you look at the
She's
movie
up there.
she's been in, but good God, Labyrinth.
top five for sure.
That's
God, what is it called? Hold on. I'm gonna have to look it up on my phone.
There's our memory unit right there.
the Dreamers, Eva Green.
Yep.
Yeah,
Excellent.
like
She's practically naked through that whole movie.
yeah.
I need to watch it then for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. That new what was it? The second 300 movie?
Yes.
what was it called?
I don't even remember what it was called. It was just the Eva Green movie.
Oh my God. The room moment with the Greek.
Yeah.
That was pretty steamy.
Like, she's just stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, she
And
is.
she's not a bad actress. She was
No.
also in the goddamn, what Johnny Depp movie with Tim Burton was it with the kids? It was like The Orphanage.
Oh,
And she was also in the freaking Dark Shadows remake.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, she was. Oh.
Okay, so Jennifer Connelly in Phenomena by Dario Argento.
Oh,
Okay.
Career
A little
Opportunities was the one with her
like,
mechanical
harder
horse.
conflict, but I'm sure Gore's seen it because he's seen everything. But yeah.
I just saw
Who was the
there
director
were-
that did Pan's Labyrinth?
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo, yeah.
Love that guy. There's another guy I really like. Even his books. If you've
I
never read
haven't
his
seen that.
books,
I need to watch Pan.
The
Dude.
Strain books by him were very good.
even, and I'll be honest, it's gonna sound weird, but there was oh my goodness, the Troll Hunters. It was a cartoon called Troll Hunters.
Yes.
It's actually really good, you guys, and it's all by Del Toro. But here's the twist.
I've heard a lot
If
about
you-
Troll Hunters.
What's that?
I've heard a lot about that. Troll Hunters.
Oh, it's an excellent cartoon. But if you actually read the book, it's really dark. It's nothing like the cartoon. You're kind of like, what am I watching and what am I reading? It's not the same story. It is the same story.
I have a kind of love-hate with Guillermo, though. I was not a fan
Yeah?
of The Shape of Water.
You weren't a fan of that.
No, I did not like
I
that
didn't
one
think-
Oscar either for Best Picture. I was pretty upset about
It was
that.
a weak year, to be honest.
True, that was a weak year, but I mean, come on. Shape of Water.
So Carlito, do you know what they're trying to do there, right?
I do, and I respect that, and I totally respect him. I just, for me, it just, I just.
The original Creature
I
from the
get
Black Lagoon.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be a love story,
Yeah,
and they turned it into a monster movie.
I respect that. I get it. I just.
So his movie Antlers,
Oh,
I actually liked a lot. That was about the Wendigo. It's on AMC Plus, I think, this month,
Okay.
and a couple of other streaming channels. It might be on Hulu, but I love the story of the Wendigo, and this kid is basically being haunted by the Wendigo, and it's eating people.
I might have seen that. I think I know the one you're talking about.
I like weird movies like that because the Wendigo I don't think is something that's been touched on in horror movies much at
Right.
all.
We're talking about the Wendigo and the Hulk and Wolverine, or
The same kind of thing. You know, it is human flesh.
Okay.
Wolverine does not appear in this movie.
Damn it.
It's not Hulk 181.
God.
No. 180.
It's not the partial. It's not the first appearance of Wolverine. Don't worry.
180. Official. I'm staying sticking
I'm
by
going to show you something. Since you got on that Hulk 181, let me show you something. I want to show you something, so we're on that. You see everything you've talked about. It's just something, little pieces that have been on my brain, and you just brought them up. An example. Okay, let me show you this because I'm going to open this one book and I'm going to show you something. All right. Everybody knows who this is.
Taskmaster. Oh, geez.
Yes.
What is this?
Oh, man.
Avengers,
First cover appearance. First cover appearance of Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
George Perez.
Not the first.
R.I.P. George Perez, man.
Not the first appearance.
First cover appearance.
This is the first appearance. I want to show you something because it's kind of what they did with Hulk 181, or the first Wolverine.
Oh, the last page? The last
Shadows.
There's this. Okay.
Yeah.
Now watch this. You go to page 30. Give me a second. Sorry. 1 second. 1 second. Damn it. I had it. I should have marked it. I didn't mark it. It's page 30. Should be at the back. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
This is the subject of Hulk 181. I'm going to show a Taskmaster. All right, here we go. Page 30. First appearance of Taskmaster.
Nice.
That seems like a first full appearance.
Yeah.
First full appearance. Tell me, how can that be with the Hulk 181? I don't understand. First appearance of Wolverine when it's
I don't get it either.
And it looks just almost like this.
Yep.
Where you see Wolverine in there on Hulk 180, and it's not the first appearance.
Yep.
They still classify this as the first appearance of Taskmaster.
Oh, they do.
Yes.
CGC is the be all end all of.
This is number 195, first appearance of Taskmaster.
So what I've been told by the community figureheads is always
not the first appearance of Taskmaster.
right.
First cover appearance.
Yeah.
People need to understand that.
The market determines what the first appearance is.
Yeah. There we go.
Like, all right, cool.
The comic Illuminati, as I like to call them.
The comic Illuminati. The comic OPEC determines.
Sorry, Dan.
what
CBSI.
the comic cabal determines what the first appearance is.
I don't understand that.
Hilarious. Nope, I've always been on that side for sure. Yep.
Oh, no love for Angela Lansbury on this channel. Listen,
I mean, you know, Murder, She Wrote. Come on.
all those Agatha Christie
Angela
stuff.
Lansbury, of course. Used to watch that.
Now, was she a MILF? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if it's relevant to anything we were talking about, really, but
Dan, you can take me down now, buddy.
She might be a guild.
Manchurian Candidate. Yeah, that's not bad.
Manchurian Candidate.
Dan,
Oh,
take
sorry.
me down.
What? No, leave Robert. Dude, he's
No,
more
we're good.
viewers. Come on.
Oh, the Manchurian Candidate. Oh, that's a good one, Gore.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good movie.
Which one, the remake
A
or
couple of
the
remakes of
original?
that.
Manchurian Candidate.
I never saw the remake. I don't know how that was. Didn't Denzel do that?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, which I'm not sure how that was received. I don't know. I didn't hear much about it. So
I'm sure
Okay.
people
Yeah,
were
the original
upset.
Lansbury. Yep. Just a minute, Bug. Just a minute, Bugger.
Uh-oh.
My little man's bugging me.
That was my cat 2 hours ago.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my cat ditched me about 40 minutes ago, I think. She was
He's
one
sitting on the
attention,
couch in
and-
the other room just staring across now.
Yeah. I think Zazel took over my cat and was like, I'm getting out of here.
So we're at the 3 hour mark, and
I can't believe we're
I'm
at 3 hours mark.
What?
I know Robert needs to start setting up for his show.
I got a half hour here.
Dude, I'm definitely gonna be in the chat on that one for sure.
You're not gonna. I sent you an invite. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, then yeah.
I sent you both invites.
Okay.
I'm not too drunk to not be on.
Oh,
I don't
good,
know how long I'll
because-
last.
Yeah, neither am I. I'm just even keel tonight. So
I think you're gonna really enjoy. You're gonna really enjoy this guy.
To be honest, I was like, Robert's not going to ask me to be on. I was shitty last episode.
I mean, I got pretty shitty in the after show. Thank God it wasn't live. So
No, it's okay. You weren't even shitty at the after show. You kidding me? We had an interesting conversation. We're on
I
for another
thought
hour and a half.
it was. But
Me and
that's
Carlito
it.
were talking for another hour and a half after.
Dude, it was a long time. Yeah. Favorite
So
older women actresses. Well, I mean,
We did.
actually, two of mine were dead, so I guess
They
you
were
could
older
consider that
women, yes.
older.
But they're good actresses
Yeah.
too. Other than
Yeah.
There's not a lot of
Dude,
young
Audrey
actors.
Hepburn knew like 5 languages, and
Yeah.
dude, she was smart as fuck.
So there's not a lot of younger actresses I gravitate to be honest. Like,
Nah, younger ones. no.
Okay, here's two.
Tatiana Maslany or whatever her name is.
No, this one. Oh wait. Oh damn it. And the reason why it was a HBO show, and it's basically after a comic book. It's a post-apocalyptic. The black actress. Oh, I know her name.
Are you talking about the one that was the Watchmen show?
Is that what you're talking about? The Watchmen like remake or whatever?
No.
Okay.
It's
Or
three
Lovecraft
words,
Country.
3 letters. 3 letters.
Oh.
3 letters. The show.
3 letters?
It's 3 letters, and it's going to drive me nuts now. Why can't I
HBO.
what on HBO? It was on HBO. Oh, Gore, I know you know this.
Gore, yeah, Gore 100% knows it probably.
Oh my goodness. That's frustrating. I hate that.
3 letters.
Damn, because I'll say like that Lovecraft Country show, Journey Smollett, who was in Birds of Prey, was
Excellent.
fucking insanely hot.
Yep.
And
But
good.
this one's a good actress too, though. She's played in a few movies. I'm trying to remember all the movies she's played in.
Name a movie. and
Okay,
I'll-
here's one. Here's one she played in. She played in not Sin City, the other one. She played the head of the women's in the streets. Not Sin City, the other one by come on, guys. Okay. There was Sin City. What's the second one? With Clive Owen.
It was just Sin City 2.
Well, that was Sin City with Clive Owen. She was in the second part, but it was Rosario Dawson.
about
The black actress in it. His
Rosario
girlfriend.
Dawson. Rosario
she's
Dawson.
only like half black, right?
That's her.
Who?
Rosario Dawson. What'd you
Oh,
say?
Rosario Dawson.
oh, okay, yeah.
Ah, beautiful,
Ahsoka.
excellent actress.
Yeah.
She played in a new series. It was on HBO, and I can't think of it. It's like 3 letters.
Well, she
they
was
made
in
a comic-
Daredevil too. I mean, she's
Yeah,
in a
she
lot
was.
of
But
stuff,
they
yeah.
played they did a comic book series of it, and I was shocked at watching the series because the series actually really got me because it's about a woman, a mother. She's trying to get her son back. This is a post-apocalyptic story, and it's kind of like New York City's locked down. It's like a big military zone. It's a military zone. What do you call the abbreviation?
Was it Love, Death, and Robots?
No. That's a good show too.
DMZ. DMZ.
Oh,
Thank
DMZ,
you.
Demilitarized Zone. Okay.
That's it. See, I knew he'd get it. We figured it out. DMZ was an excellent show. Maybe it hit me harder because when my mom passed away a couple years ago, I
It was
watched
based off
this
the
like
Brian
6
Wood series.
What's that?
It was based off the Brian Wood comic.
Yeah, but I watched it and it was really good, guys. I was surprised how good it was. But the last episode, I about lost my shit. I was like a sag of tears. It hit me so hard. And my wife is going, "Are you okay, baby?" I just like, I have blocks of Kleenex. I was crying so bad. It was so good. I mean, that show actually got me. And I was really surprised how good it was. Definitely give it a shot.
It's weird, the shows that kind of, or movies that hit me because of my mom passing. Like,
Yeah.
It's odd because, I mean,
because I had a love-hate relationship with my mom, to be perfectly honest. And it's like, you know, I had a hard time. I think I was more mad than anything when she passed, because it was just a weird way, the way she died. And I had a hard time, I couldn't accept it. I had a hard time dealing with it, with my emotions. And I watched that show like a couple months back, and this has gone on for like good year and a half, 2 years almost since my mom passed. And it's like, I watched that show, and when I got to the last episode and what it was about, and it was about a mother fighting for her son. And it's really good show. But boy, that just, when I was just like, oh, her speed, the language, like I said, she's a wonderful actress. And what she does in that, it just really hit home. It really hit me at home. Big time.
I had that Watchmen series that came out where it got to a certain episode where, you know, they were hanging people, and I was like, you know what? This just is not the time for me to watch this show. It's too much of what's going on right now. Because that was like middle of the riots, and also with what was going on with COVID. And I was just like, I can't do this. And Jen's like, well, you got to finish it. I was like, I don't think I can.
Yeah.
And then Lovecraft Country came out. I never finished it.
Oh, dude, it's worth finishing though.
I finished Lovecraft Country, and that was pretty decent.
Loved it. I wish
never did get to see that.
They canceled it, and they're not renewing it. That really frustrates me.
Well, Jonathan Majors is very busy right now with all the Marvel shit. So I get that.
That was so good. So good.
So I think I'm gonna wrap this up so that G-Man can get ready for his show, and we can kind of rest up before hitting his show.
Thank you for having me. And Dan and Carlito, I'm sorry. I only watched an hour. I didn't get to finish it. And we were going to talk. We did talk about a little bit about the show, but we went off the rails, and I hope I didn't cause any problems. I'm sorry.
No, this is the theme of the show. Like, we really.
I went all over the place. I did. I came in and it just went squirrel on you guys.
This is pretty typical.
So, like, you didn't do a Fire Guy Ryan, where you just come in and shit on everything we're talking about.
Off the rails. Fire Guy Ryan, really, off the rails. Sure.
I like Fire Guy Ryan, though.
I like him too. He's one of my best friends on Instagram, but.
And I'm excited for Zodiac. We're having Tessa as a nerd come on with us. Who's never watched Zodiac.
Dude, if Gore ever makes an appearance, I pray to God that he comes on our show.
And I think John might make an appearance on that, just because Tessa's coming on.
Nobody cares about John.
She's never
Nobody cares about John. Let's just skip over that.
No, he'll just drink Evil Rare in front of us and just rub it in because we can't.
I just went to the corner store and picked this up, and it's like, really, dude?
But
thank you guys, it was fun. Anytime. Love to
check us out in 45 minutes on Robert's channel. It's Comic Book G-Spot. We'll probably be there. I'll be charging my headphones back up.
Yes, I'm the Nerdy Collective. There we go, guys. Yep. Thank you, guys.
We'll see you in a bit. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you there. Bye.